are gonna run tired.
Run away.
We're all live on the air.
We on the air.
What's up, Mitchell lovers? How y'all doing?
Oh God, see, you did it again.
Hey, you could let us be live for 2 seconds before you say something crazy.
Yes, please, not the craziness.
I mean, hey, I gotta give the people some craziness, you know.
Man, look, I wanted you to stick around long enough to get your opinion about what you think is going to happen to Dish before you run towards the comments. So and start being the popo there. That's what I wanted to find out.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Brandon
Brandon is in the building.
The cable savant.
Oh no.
Cable Rain Man.
The Abbott enthusiast.
Oh, hey.
I had to.
Don't, shots fired. We're going to call a truce. We're not going to do that here, sir. Don't do it. But no, I wanted to find out before Cage get ready to run away. So what do you think is going to happen to Dish? Because I'm going to segue into the next story dealing with them, but I want to know from how you might feel.
How I feel about Dish Network?
Well, I'll ask you the same question after Cade answers it, because I'm curious about what people might think. Because the reason why I want to know what people might think is because the next story behind it dictates what I think is going to happen. And I had somebody that validated my findings on Twitter, but I'll talk about that in a moment. But how do you feel about this?
Like I said before we got on the air here, I think Dish is going to start out like it has started out with a bang. I think they're going to continue to just keep going steady, doing big banger moves, and then one wrong move and it just goes downhill, and they're going to end up like Sprint. I don't know why I think that. But I just feel like they're a little overhyped, overrated. They're trying to do big boy moves with a small boy mentality,
Okay. Brandon, how you feel? What do you think?
I feel that they're raping themselves. I feel that.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say it like that.
They're raping themselves.
Man.
They're bleeding customers. They literally hammered themselves the past 2 weeks. They're losing video subscribers. They're losing wireless subscribers, and then they're building out a network that nobody really knows about. Then they're calling their service Rainbow, and then people are going to start calling it politics and all this other crap.
Yeah, like my thing on. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Dish. Honestly, like I said, they're doing big boy moves, but they have a small man mentality, because I feel like they're gonna.
But hold on, before you go any further, it costs a lot of money to deploy a network, right?
Like, I understand.
They are literally putting antennas in ground, okay, on towers. That costs money.
No, I get it, but I just feel like they're gonna do like one wrong move. I don't know what, but one wrong move, and they're just gonna destroy all their work that they're doing. Like, they're gonna do all of this work, put towers into the ground, and then they're just gonna mess it up. I don't know why I feel that way. I just feel like they're gonna do one wrong move, and then they're just gonna go downhill. It's gonna be a train wreck.
I have to agree.
Oh, no radio. What is your?
Without a merger, Dish won't exist past 2028 without a merger.
Oh, good God. We're not even giving them 2028.
Without a merger.
I give them 2030 at most. 2 more years for me. But I don't see it like 2035 or 2040. No, it ain't happening.
But let's be real. There's a lot of merger possibilities on the table for them. There's a lot.
There is. Of course it is. Hey, so Ashley, how you feel?
So in order for Dish to become a good wireless company, we got to look at how has the other companies done it. How has AT&T done it? They've had capex, they've had money, not from their cell phone carrier, from a different division, and used that money to fund the wireless side.
Okay.
Same thing how Verizon did it. They've had money
That's,
from other sources besides the wireless side.
that's not necessarily true.
Well, I mean,
But
you understand,
Verizon's
AT&T,
wireless side
AT&T and
is
Verizon.
bigger than all their other departments. Verizon's wireless is the biggest part of their company.
yeah,
Their
but
other
it
side of the
wasn't in the
company ain't
beginning.
financing the wireless. It's the other way around.
But it wasn't in the
The
beginning. There used to be a
the
landline.
Yeah, and they only had twisted paired landline in the Northeast.
Yep. And my thing is,
That
Dish
didn't
doesn't.
that didn't fund. You know where all Verizon's money came from, right? It came from falling out of AT&T's ass.
Yep, that's
mm,
true.
It wasn't Verizon's money.
yeah.
And the
Well,
thing with Dish is they don't have another source. The only money that they're making is TV, and that thing is going down. They're not gaining more subscribers with their satellite.
Hey, if it ain't Amazon, it's gonna be big cable that snatches up Dish. One or the other.
And the
I
thing,
feel like Amazon is probably going to be the only one because it's the last vestige to complete the whole circle, right? They don't have their own communications.
Yeah.
I have a hot
Like
take.
they doing their transportation. They're doing transportation. They're doing retail. They're doing direct to consumer, but they're not doing their own
I'm gonna say
communications.
this. I'm gonna say this. I don't think anybody really wants Dish right now, and it's sad to say, but they're better off just selling their parts to the carriers.
Okay, I have a little hot take. It's not controversial, but it isn't.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I think if Dish gets bought out, and hear me out, it's a crazy idea. What I can honestly see, maybe in like 2030, what if DirecTV tried to buy out Dish and make their like the network that Dish has right now? DirecTV tries to buy it and make a DirecTV thing.
That's
DirecTV
still
don't
that.
have the money.
They
No,
would buy
no.
together. They would
No,
buy
no,
They
no.
don't
together.
have
Here's
the
the
money.
thing. The Direct TV is still part of AT&T though, which
Yeah.
they wouldn't let that happen in the first place.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to
I mean,
understand that. Look, AT&T's already treaded word on this one time before and got their
But
hands
hold
slapped.
on. But
When
hold
they were
on.
smaller.
There are small talks of them possibly merging, but let's face it, them merging together will only kill each other at the same time.
Well, because
Yeah.
satellite TV is dying. So,
It would basically be like Sprint buying out US Cellular.
but here's the thing: if a Dish and Direct TV ever came close, I can guarantee that the DOJ would automatically tell them to separate the cellular side away from it.
No, they
No,
wouldn't.
yes, they would.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would. It would
No,
be an
they
auto.
wouldn't.
Look.
Hold on. The reason why I say that is because both of them are dying. If you really think about it,
Is AT&T dying?
hold on, the locals are going to kill Dish if they merge together, and then that's where they'll lose even more customers. And secondly, DirecTV already lost NFL Sunday tickets, so more customers are going to bleed from that too.
Yeah,
Yes,
but they're still AT&T, Brandon.
they're
They're
still
still part of
AT&T. That's what
AT&T.
you're missing. Direct TV is not
DirecTV
its
is not by
own.
itself. No.
Yeah,
So in order
you.
for the merger to happen, there's going to be merger requirements, and one of the requirements is going to be DirecTV is going to have to be a standalone
Yes.
company, and AT&T can't have 0% of it.
And DirecTV don't have the money to buy Dish alone.
Yeah, they don't have that money.
So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
so they're better off killing each other.
It ain't gonna
Well, I
happen.
mean, I was saying it's gonna come down to somebody buying Dish. That's pretty much what it's gonna boil down to.
I honestly could see.
And wait, hold on. But here's the thing. This is some of the things that me and No Radio has talked about. Also, it's that KU ban that I think that they're waiting for. So as soon as it gets cleared and they allow it to become an NR ban, this is gonna get bought up like biscuits with molasses. It's gonna be gone.
But
It's
the
gonna be
thing
over.
is that will
Who's
Dish
going to
make
buy
it
it out?
then?
Huh?
Who's
I
gonna
honestly,
buy them?
I have a hot
Uh,
take. I think
Think
Comcast
about
buys
it.
out Dish.
They
AT&T
don't
can
want
take
it.
all the DirecTV KU band. AT&T can already use that asset, and then Dish and T-Mobile are going to fight over the rest of that KU band, or whoever
Yep.
wants Dish.
I could honestly see maybe Comcast at least attempting to buy Dish.
Yes,
As
They
a hot
don't
take.
want it.
but I'm
No,
saying just
it's
the
not. I don't think it's.
just the
I don't think
wireless,
it's a
not the
big enough
TV.
fish.
Just the
Yeah.
wireless,
No,
not the TV.
I mean the wireless. I could see
Yeah,
Comcast attempting to buy them.
I
they
don't
don't want
think.
the TV. They'll dump
Yeah.
it.
See.
They'll,
Here's
they
the thing.
would
I
want
think
that, Keon. Yes, they would. They already want their cellular network. They're gonna let
they
Dish build it
do.
for them. They're gonna let Dish build it for them. Think about it. Think about it.
I have a
Let Dish
prediction. I have
spend
a
all
prediction.
that money, bankrupt themselves. We swoop in and get it for half price, and now we get a whole macro grid on
That's-
top of the small cells they're already deploying, and
let
they
me
have
Yeah.
CBRS access that Dish doesn't have.
That's
I
true.
have
Dish's biggest problem they don't have enough bandwidth on that they can use. Well, both Comcast and Spectrum both have CBRS. If they add it in onto the existing Dish grid, macro grid, that's valuable.
That's true.
I have a prediction. All right. So if Dish actually this is what I'm trying to say. Like overall, my opinion. Like I said, Dish is going to start building out across the nation. They're going to get very big. They're going to make one wrong mistake. It's going to go all to hell. But I see Comcast swooping in, taking advantage of the like all the towers and transferring them into like a Comcast mobile or something as a competition to Spectrum. Think about it. You know, Spectrum
know.
is.
They're going to be paying Spectrum for the backhaul.
But
So win-win, baby.
Hey,
Think
look,
about it, though.
I just say
Think about
something. I just say the problem you run into is that everybody uses everybody else's backhaul.
Exactly.
So
There are no losers in that scenario.
There's not where you might think one succeed, the other one's like, oh, bet. Guess what? New customer.
Because think about it. Comcast and Spectrum are not in competition anyway, Kane. There is no competition between them two.
Yeah, they're
They
not.
have an
They
agreement.
don't. There's no overlap.
Don't they have an
There's no-
agreement with the
No,
cellular
they
side?
don't. No, they don't have any agreement. It doesn't matter.
They don't.
You talking about sharing? You talking about sharing?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's not on
They
paper
don't.
yet, but it's probably going to happen. What I'm saying is Comcast doesn't need to compete with Spectrum because they already don't build in each other's markets. No way.
Yeah, that's
There
the
is no
thing.
competition. Ain't
that's
nobody
why I
choosing between Spectrum and Comcast. Nobody's choosing between those two. You're getting whatever you fucking live next to.
That's why I see there's gonna be a Spectrum network and there's gonna be a Comcast network. And if you're on one or the other, you're gonna be able to roam on the other. That's
Exactly.
what I see in the future.
That's going to be your most likely scenario.
Well, I will from the sound of the room, I'll take it that Dish doesn't have long to live. So with that mindset, okay, I want y'all to keep that same energy, right? This article from Fierce Wireless is talking about Dish to conduct 5G tests with the 800 megahertz spectrum from the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. Now,
5x5. It's 5x5. That's basically
There's
Vantage
not
World. It's
enough.
trash. It's trash.
Wait. But hold on. Here's the thing. So we all call that trash, but the problem is this: is you have Charlie Ergen coming up here going, "Hey, we're looking."
Okay,
to test
Edmund.
this,
Hold
right?
on.
Wait,
No,
Brandon,
please.
wait.
Hold on. Let's use our mindsets right now.
Okay.
They're losing customers right now, and secondly, they don't offer truly unlimited data anymore.
No, they do not.
And that's what's killing them. And then secondly, their TV business is dying. Sling TV is also dying, and it's become more expensive as of the last couple of months.
So that's the reason why I'm about to ask the question. But now the reason why I'm doing a lead in for this is because on Twitter, what's that guy that the radio? No, not Sasha Segan. No, it's Sneed had him on his podcast before.
Roger.
Roger. So Roger tweeted out saying the same thing.
He's the white dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the European
So
one or
Honestly,
whatever.
knows nothing.
Roger tweeted out early this week about the same thing, and I mentioned this to him through to the tweet was it is actually cheaper for Dish to take the penalty than it is to buy the spectrum. Far cheaper. So like the spectrum cost
T-Mobile
is
way.
like 300. No, the spectrum cost is $3.5 billion. But do you know how much it costs for them they have to pay T-Mobile if they don't take the spectrum? 37 million.
Dirt cheap.
It's cheaper for them to drop the spectrum and not even touch it because in the next 6 months they have to make a decision. Because they basically they've been taking 3 years to make a decision. They got 6 months left to do.
So
And
right now,
Roger basically said was like, yo, that sounds plausible.
so right now, everyone thinks that Dish is not going to make any money. When do you think it's going to be a time where Dish says, "All right, I'm tired with losing money year after year after year.
They're
They're
not
forced
gonna
to do this.
ever
It's
make
not
money
about losing money.
anytime
They're
soon.
forced.
Hashtag, listen. Did you follow the DirecTV AT&T merger?
Yeah,
Do you know they spent the last 8 years just getting DirecTV ready to sell?
yep,
Mm.
You get where I'm going with that, right?
yeah, yeah.
They're just getting this ready to sell. They putting the lipstick on her. They dressing her all up. They got a new because they knew the satellite business was already dead, but they had wireless asset. They're just dressing the girl up so she looks pretty for the sale. So they can at
No
least
radio,
come out
but
on
it's like
top.
it's like a draining volcano
No, no, look.
where people are
Here's the
running
thing.
away.
You build up the assets to sell it off to somebody
Yeah.
who wants to be able to take it and do whatever they want to do with it. Somebody
It's
who
the
got
same
deeper
reason why
pockets.
you remodel the kitchen. You remodel the kitchen on the house before you get ready to sell it to get up to value real quick.
Right.
That's what they're
I mean,
doing, bro.
you put a nice look. You spend $10,000 to put a new roof on, so you can sell your house at $300,000.
Mm-hmm. That's all they're doing, man. They're
That's all they're
making the house
doing.
pretty.
And
So when do you think?
here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing, right? So if Dish doesn't take the 800 megahertz spectrum, they have to give T-Mobile $37 million. But there's a loophole in it also. They supposed to give the government money as long. Here go the thing. As long as they have a
What?
5G core that covers 20% of the nation or 20% of of the nation, then they don't owe the federal government any money. So they're going to opt for the cheaper option. I'm telling you, that 5x5 of 800 megahertz, they're gonna take the cheap route. That's what I think.
I think I agree with you, but I think if they want to do big boy moves, minimum minimum of 600 megahertz like T-Mobile. If they want any
They
amount
already
of
have
competition.
600 megahertz, and they have 700 megahertz too.
But here's the thing:
And why are they
this
using 800?
The 800 doesn't
They're
do
not.
anything for them. They're not.
It doesn't do anything for anybody. Not really.
Okay, so Cade, to catch you up. So part of the merger agreements with Sprint and T-Mobile is that T-Mobile had to separate itself from the 800 megahertz on the Sprint side and sell it off. They have to agree to sell it to Dish for a certain amount, but Dish hasn't bought it yet. So basically, it's just sitting there because as as T-Mobile decoms all these sites, well, guess what? Those 800 megahertz is just sitting there, ready to be used again. But does Dish really need to use it to operate? That's the question.
No.
If they don't need it, then why are you going to buy it? You don't buy something just because, especially when you're just trying to put lipstick on the pig.
I mean, you like lipstick on a pig.
Hey man, especially when it gives good bacon.
I was about to say that. Is that applewood lipstick?
Is that maple? Is this maple wood?
Maple?
I don't know, dude, but I mean, I like even me in my head right now with Amazon's with Amazon right now, I don't even see Amazon buying it.
Oh, I don't
Well-
either. Their cashierless stores are already going fucking out. Like they're
but they
fucking,
never took that serious anyway.
No, that was more of a proof of concept because they didn't roll it out everywhere. Which I
Sure
mean,
didn't.
I think that they didn't put them in the right areas though. That's how I looked at it. It's nice to keep them like on the West Coast, but if you really want to test drive it, put it in the middle of New York City and see what happens.
Oh, let's go get robbed.
No radio. In your opinion, how much does Dish Network need to build out a true network?
billions.
100 billion.
100 billion. Yep.
100 billion.
Mm.
And
Well, we
about
know
20
they
years.
ain't got that.
100 billion and 20 years of time.
Well, we know they don't got that.
And the thing is, I don't even think that's enough. They need a source of income that's reliable and that's consistent that they can use. They don't have
That
that
they
source
can
of income.
that they can
That's
fall
why I
back
told
on.
you. That's why I told you they're just fattening that pig up to sell it. I promise you, dog. Think
Yeah,
about it,
right,
right?
so-
If you're Dish, right, and your main business is already dying, right? But you got all these wireless assets sitting over here, and you go, okay, we're gonna die no matter what we do. How can we die and make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time possible? All right, let's invest in this asset so we can have another asset, a portfolio to say, hey, when you get ready to buy us, look at all this that we've done. Look at all these new tower builds. That's all it is. It's going out with class, basically, versus just sitting there drowning like Sprint. Sprint just sat there and drowned.
Sprint was basically being forced into the ground. Like they were in quicksand and was sinking fast.
But they kept freaking lowering their prices, but not building the network. That's what Sprint kept doing.
But
Dish Network is basically building out a network, but sooner or later they're probably going to give up because they're going to.
Well, it's the thing. I don't even consider it building a network. It's meeting the demands of the requirements of agreement that they were forced into.
Exactly. If they don't do anything, they lose all that. They lose all that spectrum that they bought. Right. They lose it all. That's what I'm telling you. They can't let their assets die.
When they entered into those agreements with the T-Mobile Sprint merger, that put them on the clock automatically. That set the clock, and that's pretty much what they're doing. They're building out to fulfill the clock. That's it.
Yeah, as long as they do that, they can then sit on it and wait till somebody thinks the girl's pretty and put a ring on it. That's all they got to do.
Or carve that pig up.
So what happens if one of the carriers end up buying that Caillou band?
What do you mean? Dish don't even have to buy any. They already got it.
No, but like what happens if, like, for example, y'all said that y'all said that.
Okay, Brendan, how much did Verizon pay for C-band?
45.
$46 billion.
That's more than Dish is worth right now. And they got KU band already. That's what I'm trying to tell you. In a sale, as long as they have any kind of grid started in a sale, that bandwidth is worth its weight in gold, bro.
Mm-hmm. The bandwidth, look, you need to understand, the spectrum is worth more than putting towers up.
Exactly. But they're going to lose all their assets if they don't build anything.
Right.
That's the thing. So they got to build something so they can stay in the game.
So basically, you gotta play the game.
And all you got to do to prove that is if you look, you'll see what 3 companies filed petitions for KU band. Everybody but Verizon filed petitions.
Yep.
AT&T filed too, and so did T-Mobile. They all filed requesting to have a ban assigned for terrestrial use. AT&T still got their clause in DirecTV. Just has its clause in itself.
Yeah, so understand AT&T never divested itself from DirecTV at all.
They holding on.
All I'm saying is Dish Network is probably gonna have a yard sale outside of Goodwill.
Yeah, they're gonna
gosh.
make some money on the way out though. But they're gonna make some money on the way out, Brandon.
No. They're a little too low quality for Goodwill. Goodwill at least does some good shit. They're more gonna be on
Wow. Wow.
Kay said this is an Amazon return pallet.
No. You want to know what they are? They ain't Goodwill. They're Wish.com quality.
Oh
Man, that's sad. That's sad.
dang. Hey yo, Kay though, I ain't gonna front though. I bought like 5 pairs of headphones for like $20 wireless.
Hey, no radio, but those things were hot garbage though. Come on, man. Come on,
They sound
man.
better than AirPods.
Man.
Okay, what's the next article?
All right, so
regular AirPods, not like updated AirPods.
hold on. Let me ask y'all a question. How do y'all feel about iSIM?
Huh?
Don't care.
What?
I know eSIM, but not iSIM.
I know about iSIM. Still don't care.
So now from this article, which was provided to us by our good old AA Ashay. He sent this in. I read the article, and for the most part, it's just another standard that is coming down the pipeline for basically is integrated SIM.
It's big, yeah, but why do you care? That's what I'm asking.
Well, I mean, for him,
Bro,
it matters.
They ain't got eSIM right yet. How the hell they gonna move on to iSIM?
Hey, look, we're making some progress. We're finally on
No, we ain't.
eSIM.
We need
finally
no.
on.
And if you still want to activate one on most carriers, it's a fucking nightmare.
That's true.
Now they want to go even deeper.
Hey, look, but hey, so far I got my family because I was out eating with them the other night and we were talking about my cell phones and they were like, "You got how many phones?" Well, I technically carry around 2, but I got 4 lines. They were like, "Well, how you do that?" This thing called eSIM. So I got eSIM on 2 phones and I got regular SIM cards in those 2 phones also. So 4 lines.
The point is this: if the carriers ain't gonna fully support it in a way that makes sense across all models of phones, I don't care if it's eSIM or iSIM. I'm not happy.
It's at the processor level. They're making
Doesn't
it
matter
at the processor level itself.
But that ain't the problem. Ain't nobody complaining about whether the eSIM's in the process or not. They complaining about the fact that if you lose your phone, the only way you're gonna get the damn shit on a new phone, you gotta sit on hold with fucking Verizon or go to the store. Why can't I log in and scan a code and keep it moving? I don't care if it's on the processor level. Processor level ain't gonna change that.
Well, I think that when I read this article, basically this is just so they can just introduce IoT. This is just for IoT, really. Yeah. From what I was reading in the article itself, it's designed more for like smaller devices where you can authenticate it on your account, but you don't need to have all the hassle.
But guess who that benefits? It don't benefit the user.
No.
It benefits the manufacturer. That's why I said I don't care. It benefits the manufacturer, not us. We gain nothing from it as the users.
I just look, when I was reading it through this article, because the first thing I was trying to figure out is, well, what's wrong with eSIM since we just got it now? You already introducing another one called iSIM. I don't see what the purpose was, but I didn't want to ignore it because it is technology, though.
I mean, it's cool.
For me, I was just looking for where.
Oh yeah, now I feel you though. I just don't get excited about articles that don't help anybody or these things. They don't help the customer. They ain't gonna make your phone cheaper.
That's true.
It ain't gonna make the eSIM experience any better. It just means the manufacturer gets to cheap out even more.
Did Brandon jump out? Oh man, that man don't sit still for a hot second.
You know me, I'm a hater, son. If it don't help us, I ain't excited. You tell them they can keep their damn iSIM.
Well, that's one opinion. Cave, how you feel? Or have you already moved on to World of Warcraft?
Oh no, Amir. I don't know. I feel like they should worry about eSIM instead of iSIM. They don't even have an eSIM down. People are complaining about, their signal dropping off or their service going to no service because of the eSIM messing up. It's like they need to polish it out first before they can.
Well, I mean, my biggest gripe right now has been like the reason why I haven't went on ahead and unlocked my iPhone is because of the idea that I might lose my cell lines to switching over to iPhone. It would be easier for me to switch back and forth if my AT&T line and my Verizon line was eSIM, but I would have to keep it on Android to be eSIM. If as soon as I switch to iPhone, it's done. It's a done deal.
No, it isn't on AT&T. You just got to get the barcode.
Yeah, but to get the barcode, you still got to get that from the store.
Oh, right. You got to go to the store. You get the barcode.
I don't want to go to the store.
But here's the thing: do I particularly get a barcode? Do I have to go get a barcode every time I want to switch back and forth?
No, you don't. But what if you lose it? That's what I'm saying. Why can't I log in on my account and scan something on the account? Why can't I do that? That makes way more sense.
Yeah, that's the future. That's what I hope iSIM does.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that has nothing to do with eSIM and iSIM. The iSIM works the same as eSIM. It's just integrated into the chip. That's the only difference. There's no other difference.
The eSIM is basically just a chip off the main board.
It's no different than having a modem that's outside the chip or integrated in the chip. You remember the first 5G modems were separate from the chip. They just stuck them inside the chip. That's it. Yeah. That's all iSIM is. It's just integrated eSIM. It doesn't even act different.
eSIM is a mess, and we have to figure out how to fix it.
It's a mess because guess what? You have multiple manufacturers on the Android side. The only one that you have to really worry. If you're an iPhone user, you really don't care.
Yeah, you don't care if you're an iPhone user. But you know why, right? Because Apple went outside of the carriers and did it themselves. Because they only have to interact with other Apple devices. The problem is not with the eSIMs themselves, it's the carriers not wanting to support them fully. Tell me why Red Pocket is easier to do eSIM than both AT&T and Verizon.
Right. And Red Pocket is a subsidiary is using AT&T's network.
Well, no, they use everybody's network. You can get Red Pocket T-Mobile, Red Pocket Verizon, Red Pocket AT&T.
Oh, wow.
And it's easier to get a damn eSIM from them. You can literally log into the freaking account. If you switch devices, doesn't matter if it's an iPhone or Android, all you gotta do is submit for a damn new eSIM, say you had a problem or lost a phone. You just submit it and put your IMEI in and you're done. That easy. It ain't what I'm saying. eSIM itself isn't buggy. It's the carriers not choosing to support it. I think what it is, Verizon and both AT&T want to force you to keep dealing with them. They don't want you to go around them and be able to handle it yourself.
Oh no! Look, understand.
They want to tell you
the whole premise of mine is the more freedom you give a customer, the more you feel that they're going to run away from you. Like, understand the reason why the cellular carriers act the way they do is always trying to figure out a way to sink your hooks in. Like I was on Reddit, and this person bought a phone but didn't check to see if the IMEI number was unlocked. And when they went to go put their SIM card in, it was locked on the AT&T. Well, what's your recourse? They want the AT&T wants that phone paid off. How does a third party person pay off somebody else's phone? They don't even give you the option to do it.
Yeah, it ain't like a car that got repossessed. I wish it was. I wish that would be what's up.
That's what it needs to be. Hey, look, that's what it needs to be. Like, yo, it would literally make the cell phone industry lose their marbles. Because here's the thing: if I was able to like buy a phone that was, let's say, on eBay for $30-$40, but if I went to the carrier and said, hey, look, what's up with this IMEI number? Oh, that phone it's owing like $300.
$200, $300, $1,000 phone. Yeah. I'll pay it. Give me the title.
Right. See? If they did that,
that's genius, sir.
That would be genius. The carrier still gets his money, and then they get that money and they can still go
Sell
after
you
the
service.
person's credit report.
Yeah.
They be like, yo, they can double dip.
My thing with not AT&T, Samsung, is they have the worst eSIM. Like you can't choose if you want data on one line, voice on the other.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. On mine's, I could choose where data on either one, but if you get a phone call on the line that's not active, it falls over to doing data on the line that's being called on. So I mean, if anything, it's actually simple. It's not too
But
complicated.
let's not forget, though, Ashay, the carriers are pushing their variant software on the devices too.
Oh yeah, that's
Samsung isn't. You got to realize Samsung isn't fully in charge of that. That's the thing. That's the reason why if you got a T-Mobile SIM in there, all of a sudden service mode works. You put the Verizon in no service mode. That ain't on
Right.
Samsung. That's because they have made an agreement with the carriers, let the carriers have their way. And that's the thing. That's why I told you the reason Samsung isn't supporting that shit openly is because the carriers are pushing them into that. I promise you.
Well, you have to
And
understand,
Apple's
like,
just defiant. Apple doesn't care. They're defiant regardless. That's the reason
well,
why they do what they do.
well, I don't think a lot of people realize what it took just so AT&T and Apple were in cahoots with each other for so long, which is why everybody says that if you're on an iPhone, being on AT&T is a whole lot better because Apple's network is geared towards iPhones.
Yeah,
It
they can
wasn't
keep
it wasn't
going.
until the
Yeah.
iPhone 5 when it came over to Verizon.
Look, that's the same reason why, Keon, all the way up to like 2017, you couldn't use Wi-Fi calling on anything but an iPhone with AT&T.
Right. Because AT&T
People forget about that, though.
yeah, a lot of people forgot about that.
People forgot about that.
A lot of people didn't want to regurgitate that one.
That was the
But
first thing that somebody mentioned when we had a meeting when we were getting bought out. When I was working for Direct and we got bought out, they were talking about all the employee benefits and this and that. And then somebody was like, "Yo, what about Wi-Fi calling on Android? It don't work on AT&T." Oh yeah, that's exclusive for Apple.
that's sad.
And that was all the way to like 2017. But people forget about that.
That's sad. But
And you know why they
but
asked?
that
Because
is
AT&T's coverage was trash in 2017. That's why they asked about the Wi-Fi calling.
there was no FirstNet yet. There was no first that this is what would be the abbreviations for that? Before FirstNet, after FirstNet?
Oh, well, she went and got AT&T got a boob job, a tummy tuck, some new lips.
Mm.
I got
dipped it. You
got
about
it.
to jump?
No, well, yeah, but I have an announcement I wanted to make. I got a job for. I'm working for T-Mobile now.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
damn.
Congratulations!
Twerk
Yeah.
that thong. Twerk that thong.
You about to get scrutinized even worse than I do, sir.
Hey, he about to have the inside info.
Oh, hey, man. Feel free to slip me some information if you need,
dude,
if you can.
It's a sales associate job, but it ain't
Hey,
like
man.
a tower job. But
Oh, we know,
Hey, look.
sir.
Hey,
We still want to know about all the sales and the inside scoop.
Right.
all right,
You can help us
maybe.
look out for towers. You're gonna be sending me some pictures. You're gonna be looking up them towers.
Apparently, I could make up to like 2,500 a month. So not too bad.
Hey,
Yeah, right.
congratulations, man.
Appreciate
Don't
it.
be the only thing is you're not gonna be getting that full cap. It's gonna be
Huh?
average. You're not gonna get that full 25 average.
Ashay's a veteran, sir.
I know. Yeah.
You might want to talk to Ashay off the record about
Yeah.
what's really good because
They have give you some pointers on how to sell. He know all the inside pointers.
All right.
You're not gonna make the cap. No one ever makes it the fullest.
They hype you up real good fashion. But no, hey, I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah. Congrats.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna hop into the comments and be the security guard of the chat, but I'll definitely maybe hop back in later.
All right, watch out, Chad. Here come the popo.
Oh, you better watch out, Edmund.
Hey, man. So, hey, look. So, let's see. Um, Dave wanted me to do this story. So apparently, and I wanted to find out how y'all might feel about this, but apparently, Silicon Valley has taken a super nosedive.
Yeah, I'm not into
So this
the
is this is
market.
a this is a overall story, but I just needed a article to be able to talk about this. But Silicon Valley bank collapse is do you think that's a big story? Do you think it's a small story? How you might feel about it?
It's what's it? The one of the big sevens, seventh big bank.
I think so because
It's the seventh. Yeah,
a lot
I
of
remember
the
it's the seventh.
a lot of people, a lot of companies in California run their businesses through Silicon Valley Bank, and the fact that it collapsed because of the higher interest rates, it was devastating for them. And they haven't. I think like what they haven't even been bought yet. They
Mhm.
haven't been bought. So it's been one of those things where you know this is going to hurt a lot of up and coming or even already semi-established companies in California.
I forgot. There's a list of companies that went over their insurance policy. Like the FDI insurance is like 250,000. There's companies that have more than that in
Oh
one bank
yeah,
account.
but here's the
So there's
thing
there's a
because
list of those
and
companies.
and this is something that I wanted to the reason why I also wanted to bring it up because Dave he talks about cryptocurrency and different other ways to do payments, but Silicon Valley is being backed by FDIC up to $250,000. Now, granted, you're not about to get whole. They're not gonna make you whole, but at least you still got something. You know what I mean?
My thing is, it's these big companies are idiots because these aren't just your normal average. They companies that are holding like your normal average person. It doesn't have more than $250,000 in one bank account. Your average
Well,
Joe,
I mean, if you're running your business, I mean, the thing is
even if you're
it
smarter, bro, you have more than one bank account. You split
yes,
that money up
yes.
because half
I
of it you
mean,
got to
you
pay
you
the
would have you
government.
would have to do it that way because it's to save your assets,
Yes, I mean, if worst case scenario, you get all your money. You don't have to worry about,
right?
oh, was I over, under.
But come on, man, you know that everybody don't have access to that. Like, yo, if you're a Silicon Valley, startup, man, you're still hunting around for funding, let
Yeah,
alone trying to, have multiple bank accounts.
the thing is, oh, it's easy. The thing is, it's easy. You just have different accounts.
Yeah, I
You,
mean,
you
you could say it's easy, but yo, when you're trying to pull from one bank and doing other stuff with another bank, and
no, you
where
can
did
have
where should
one
you
bank
pull
account.
funds?
You can have one bank account and just have different accounts in that bank.
True, but you know that the FTC is not going to get. Oh well, we see that you have multiple accounts. Now I don't look like I said. I am not a
No, that is
financial.
true. That
I'm
is,
not
yeah,
a
you don't want to.
financial. I'm not a financial person that would know any better. But if you have multiple different accounts, I mean,
That
yeah,
is covered.
you would
It's
be able
every
to.
account is 250,000.
You would have to foresee this disaster coming.
No, but my thing is a lot of because some of the big businesses that were uh working with Valley banks, Silicon Valley banks, they all had multiple thousands of accounts that didn't go over that maximum 250,000.
Right.
There's a couple of the big ones that legit they were smart. They say, yeah, we don't do that shit. We make sure
Yo,
all
hey,
our money is
hey, no
yeah.
radio.
Yo,
Hey, look, this is a prime example right here of why cryptocurrency is not ready yet. This right here, look, this is the reason because if you don't, the FTC is only going to cover up to 250,000. And what happens if you got multi billions in cryptocurrency? and all of a sudden the bottom drops out of it. Tough cookies.
Mm-mm-mm.
Tough cookies.
Hey, somebody's got to do it.
That's true.
Somebody's got to lose all their money betting on hopes and wishes.
Well, I mean, our economy is set up for winners and losers, man. I mean, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose, and I think Silicon Valley bank was run just like every Silicon Valley company. It was, hey, if you invest in early, you get your money first, and then everybody else is left holding the bag.
It's like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was talking about how most state lotteries, all the money goes to the education system.
Uh-huh.
He said, yeah, they put all the money in the education system, but if they educated people on probability, people wouldn't play the lottery in the first place.
That's true. Hey, that is true. Yo, hey, look. Do you know what the lingo is here in DC is for the lottery? If you don't play, you don't win. I'm like, what? What?
And if you do play, you most likely lose.
Right.
Good luck. Oh Jesus.
Like what type of mantra is that? But that's the catchphrase, man. If you don't play, you don't win. Man,
yeah, I done heard that cat. I know one person that really won, like really, really won, like seriously won. One person. And I know thousands of people that at the gas station, mostly boomers, at the gas station holding the line up because they sitting there trying to damn buy 6,000 tickets.
Shame.
And one person won. One big.
That's always been my thing is that if you sit at, go ahead, Ashley.
Like my thing is like even though my grandparents they do the lottery, they just do one ticket. They never go above one ticket and unders. So for them, it's just for fun.
Yeah, but
like
but they probably, bro, people buy whole rolls, Ashley.
Oh yeah, that's people. That's addiction.
Yeah.
Like if people buy like one ticket a day, that's different.
You've been better off. You would have been better off putting that money in a life insurance policy that you could cash out in 10 years.
But my thing is like
or
the enjoyment
in the stock market. If you really want to gamble, go invest in the stock market. At least you have a better chance on that.
But my thing is, it's for the enjoyment. Like you get the thrill. She gets the thrill.
I don't see what the thrill is. Like you literally go into a local store. Look, you literally go into a local store, and that store hopes that somebody, whoever they sell a ticket to, will hit because they get residual income from that also.
Yep.
But here's the thing. I mean, like a lot of that money they don't even see.
Yeah. It's just like enjoyment. It's like the enjoyment of tech. We love tech. They get an enjoyment of buying.
Yeah, but guess what? Yeah,
but
I don't. But it don't cost me money.
It's going to show up. And if Samsung doesn't go, you might get a phone in the mail.
Hey, check this out. Look, it costs me nickels, maybe even pennies, just to scour the web for my addiction. Yo, people are literally emptying their bank accounts.
Oh, these old people be putting $300-$400 in lottery tickets, like on the 1st and the 15th.
Man, yo, so I got another one. No radio. This is right up your alley since you ventured over to the other side of the moon.
What's that?
Microsoft Bing sees over 1 million daily active users thanks to its chatbot.
Of course.
GPT.
Of course.
So I want to know from you, since I don't really see Bing really being useful right now, but with you being my testing pig?
Well, I'm gonna just tell you, there's actually a lot of things you can watch, and Bing is actually not a failure for Microsoft, even before this. It's not a failure. You can look it up. It's actually not a failure for them. It's actually benefited them greatly in the long run. In the beginning, it was a problem, but Bing is actually a successful product. Hilariously enough.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I mean, I
Well,
look,
ChatGPT.
I primarily use Google
Oh
for
yeah, I
my
do too.
searches,
But
but
Have you
remember, I
I'm just
seen?
only have
saying,
Bing on
like,
there just to
Hold
play
up.
around with it. I don't, bro,
Have
Keon, I only got Bing because of Chat GPT. You know that, right? Only reason why you even saw it on my computer. That's the only reason why I had it.
you were
I'm the
like,
same boat.
go ahead, Ash.
when you Google search anything, like I've been Google searching questions for homework, it will go in. Uh, Google has their own thing called BART, and what happens is like it will go into like Quizlet, find that question, give me the answer, and put that answer in before the first result. So it's using AI too.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. One of the reasons why Chat GPT is getting all the headlines is because how can I say it? Google has a very bad mantra about them. Everybody thinks that they're getting ready to come for them. You know, that Google is too powerful and whatever. So I think that they let somebody else come out first. You know, get all the fanfare, and then they come up behind and do something better.
And
That's
we
what I
also
Uh,
think.
need
I'll
we
point
also
out
need a
something to you too.
donation bucket for ChatGPT for all the
I'm
help
gonna,
it's given me.
I'm gonna tell you
Ah,
something else too. You might not realize. You do realize Bing is using Google's data for their search engines, right?
Bing is using Google's data.
You
Yep.
didn't know that already?
I did well. You know what? I'm not surprised because guess what? They gave up on Internet Explorer. And what is it? Edge is basically
Edge.
Chrome. I'm not
Just
surprised about
saying.
that.
Yeah, they're using Google for their data, so it doesn't matter.
Edge is basically Chrome. So does it really matter now?
So I'll give you an example. So even for example, like say you use Edge, right? But you're
Uh huh.
using Google search, the actual Edge app, it literally remembers what Google gives you as results and it moves it over into the Bing system.
So
Hmm
the Bing servers are scouring Google servers for
They're
search
u- they
history.
they're using user searches. So when you
Right.
are using, say you use Microsoft Edge, right? And you search something on Google, Edge is actually calling home and telling you the results Google is giving back to Microsoft, so they can update their shit.
Mm.
Hmm
Oh
Keep that
man.
in mind.
Yo, we got a search history war happening underneath our feet.
Yes, yeah. This is this
Ooh.
is this has been since the beginning too. People don't realize it.
Hey
Google's like,
man.
yo, why do the homework when they did it for us? Like,
Hey, I'm just saying, man. Hey, they sit on here and do all the work for you. You just might as well just ride that piggy on home. Oh, we started to get a very meat oriented chat going on right now.
it is doing it based on success. So say you search something on Google, right? And you find the
Uh
result you want. If you're in Edge or Internet Explorer, when you click on that result and you stay in that page more time at a time, Microsoft goes, "Oh, that was a success. That's the right result. All right, remember that, Bing. That's the right result." That's all they're doing.
right. And then you
Yep.
can you can you can extrapolate out search histories based on success.
Hmm
Huh. Now, I understand that now.
I
Now I
forgot
just
who it
found it.
was. He did a whole video about Bing. He was talking about how Bing is actually not a failure. Like everybody talks shit about it, yet it's actually a successful product. So.
Well, they probably don't have to do the same amount of investment that Google's done. And I mean, you basically get the search history for free.
Hmm
And look, you're crawling the crawler. You
Yeah. At the
basically don't even have
moment,
to do no work.
they look, for example, Bing still has 27% of all users searching online is using Bing.
Mm,
If
27%
you
is
look
not a
on
slouch.
exactly on a
That's not a
world scale,
slouch.
that is
Yeah,
not a
that's not a failure.
27 point, yeah, 27.6 of all searches. 27.6% of all searches go through Bing.
Mm. Then come to find out, Bing is basically Google in the sky.
You're wrong. Like I said, Bing had a hard start, but overall they're not failing. That's why it still exists. That's why Microsoft didn't scrap it.
Right. Hey, unlike Google getting rid of my Google Stadia, them bastards.
Here it is. It says there's a lot of search engine searches that we thought no one uses anymore. Contrary to popular belief, Americans seem to like being just fine. It says
Mm,
62 million people say they use both. It's just
really?
the
That's a lot
U.S.
of people.
If you do the math,
That's a lot
about
of people.
27% of the 300 million people in the U.S.
How would you even go about using both?
Well,
That,
no, what
that's a question for the ages.
I'll tell you why, right? So if you use an Edge, even when you type in the toolbar, you're still searching Bing by default. You don't have to go to Bing
Right.
and then search. And then in the same instance, if your automatic habit is to go to Google first, you're still going to Google first inside of Microsoft. So you might be using one or the other. Like
That's true.
in general, it's not failing. That's right. That's why they haven't killed it.
Mm.
And you know what Microsoft's going to do? They want to push certain articles and ads in the front of that. That's why you always see all them ads on the Bing homepage. Click on this link. Read about what happened with the Princess of Unda, whatever the hell. You know, this random article crap that they're pushing forward, getting paid for. Google doesn't even do that on the actual Google homepage.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, that's something different. I knew that Bing was still around. I just didn't think it was 27%.
let's be real
Right?
though. Only weirdos are using DuckDuckGo and
Oh,
Ask.com.
don't say
Come on.
weirdos, man.
Bro,
Look,
Google is 84% of all searches. Bing is 26%.
right
I think some of there's some overlap in there.
Bro, I
there
hate the
is.
people that are like, "Oh, I love DuckDuckGo, but I hate the search engine." Bro,
Bro,
you
I've
gotta
tried to
pay to
use
play.
DuckDuckGo. I hate DuckDuckGo. I have tried to find stuff on DuckDuckGo and can't find nothing. Put it in Google one time and I find it.
One time for the one time, man. One time for the one time.
You know
Yo,
me,
hey, look.
Keon. I'll look up
Oh, I
some
know you.
random group from 1996. Like today, I looked up a group I never freaking heard of, and now I love the music. And they was out in the 90s.
Mm.
But Google knew everything about them. Google was like, yeah, this was their single. This was the year. This member left. I'm like, damn, Google. Tell me what
Ah.
the blood type is. Jesus.
Oh well. They clip their toenails on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Whoa, that's a little bit personal. How did you get that information?
His
With all
index
that,
finger is longer than his middle finger.
man.
His wife only has 6 toes.
Oh
Just random
gosh,
shit. You know, just random shit. You know.
the extra stuff,
Mm-hmm.
man. Hey, before Ashley runs away, I want to get your opinion about this, sir. Since you my AT&T expert, and I want you to answer me honestly, sir. I'm try to take your AT&T hat off for this question though.
Okay.
All right,
Impossible.
if possible. So, AT&T was at Mobile World Congress, or I think they were in a conference, and yeah, Mobile World conference, and they were asked about their rollout of 5G, but
What do you mean the
AT&T,
rollout? They don't have a
their
rollout.
well, I mean, see that's part of the article. So AT&T's rollout of mid-band 5G, but downplays standalone 5G.
You need a
So
5G. You need 5G in order to get standalone 5G.
well, not necessarily. You can develop your network to just work on NSA.
Oh, don't
You
give me
don't
that
you don't you
trash
don't
and
have
say
to
shit.
you don't have to go standalone right away like T-Mobile's doing. You could literally keep it on NSA and just let it keep churning.
Yeah,
Which
fuck
is which
NSA.
is which is why I asked this question of you. Is
Mhm.
do you think that AT&T really is not trying to rush to 5G? I've always
Well,
suspected that
it's
they're
so
not really
easy.
caring.
They don't care. All they care about is fiber, 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 fiber.
But
If
fiber
the road
doesn't
doesn't
reach
start with an F, it's
everybody.
a fiber.
They,
That's what they
they
care
barely
about.
care. They barely care about that, Ashley.
I
They barely
mean,
care about, but that's the only thing they talk about. The only thing they talk about is fiber, fiber,
well,
fiber, fiber,
well, here's the
fiber.
thing. Here's the thing. they care about it because guess what? Their competition is not that heavily invested in it that much themselves.
No, I
18,
disagree with that.
no, because
Verizon
here
is,
you go. Verizon is only doing their fiber to their own cell sites. It's not
and that's the
fiber
correct way.
to. No, that's one way. The correct way is providing fiber no matter what. You know, cable companies provide fiber to customers and cell towers.
Yeah, I need you to provide, Edwin, I need you to provide fiber to Mount Rushmore. We need fiber
Hey,
over there.
hey, man, if somebody pays them to do it, but look. What I'm just saying is this is something I suspected that AT&T was happening. Is that they are just fulfilling what LTE supposed to have been able to do in the LTE era, like five carrier aggregation, being able to do up to about a gig on just LTE. They're just now realizing it now. Like I was getting like over 500 and 700 megs in AT&T in a spot in DC. But what's the purpose of doing it at now? Unless you're not trying to move fast to 5G.
The thing is, AT&T is just sucking on LTE. And I've talked to PA Tech about this, and we both agree about this. AT&T's LTE is so good that it really doesn't need the 5G. If you're getting 200 to 300 down, it doesn't matter if I get 700 or 20 gigs down. My applications can't go higher than maybe a couple hundred.
I can tell you this, and I say AT&T has slowed down here, not sped up.
Oh yeah, that's because they fucked your area up. They turned on N66,
Yep.
PSS N66.
Freaking
but
flash.
here's the thing. This is something I feel that AT&T is downplaying. The downplaying the standalone 5G portion is I think that it's gonna, like, they already got their contract. They got the FirstNet, they got the government installations and all that stuff on lockdown, right? But their movement to a new standard is going to be slower than their than their competition.
It's
And
good.
I
You know
think
why,
that
Edmund?
why?
Government isn't paying any money. FirstNet isn't giving them much more money anymore. The money's dried up.
Hey,
So they're looking for another contract to get more money.
well, hey, I mean, but that's another thing. If AT&T is only going to be motivated by contracts only, then yeah, moving to 5G is not of the highest concern for them.
You know,
When I was in Philly earlier this week, yeah, I came across a couple of sites that was N77, but they won't even doing maximum potential on the bandwidth that they were given.
yep.
I mean, it looked to me they were just putting it up and was like, "Hey, we put it up, good. Let's move on."
So did you see the other spot where AT&T was spending all their money in?
What spot?
The fiber. That's the only thing they spend all their money in. You know, they're spending more money in fiber than wireless. And I keep telling
Right.
people they're getting away from their bread and butter. It's wireless, wireless, wireless. But they keep stirring away from, oh, we're going to go to DirecTV. Oh, we're going to do other shit that makes no sense. And spend money there and buy companies. They need to stop doing that and work us on
Well,
fiber.
You
They
gotta
need to
remember,
stop working us on
the
fiber.
reason they bought DirecTV is because their Uverse product was failing.
right.
They just need to shut it down.
And you
Uverse
know
isn't
why?
working.
You know why Uverse was failing?
Why was you
No.
fella?
Because they failed to build the fiber in the first place.
And now they want to
That's
build the
why.
fiber. But the
Too
problem is
late.
fiber is too goddamn expensive.
It's
Too late.
But
It's too
here's the
late and
thing.
it's too
But here's the
expensive.
thing. They started building roughly about the time that government contract decides to come out. So AT&T's motivation only happens when there's money on the table.
when somebody else is paying for it.
Yeah, when somebody else is paying for it, that's the only time
Mhm.
they decide to want to actually do something. I don't think that's not a good way of running your business.
Oh yeah, but my thing is there any government contracts that we know that AT&T has for fiber? Because I think most of them are going to Spectrum and
I say
Comcast.
let's not forget about Mississippi, sir.
Yeah, Mississippi was terrible.
Let's not forget about it. When the government gave them the money, they didn't build it.
They did not build it.
Yeah,
that's why they ain't getting no more. That's why.
That's
why
problem.
though.
My thing is now they have to spend 100% of their own money. It used to be, oh, maybe the government gives them 5, 10, 15,
Yeah, but
20%.
guess
Now
what?
they
That's what
spend
everybody else is
100%.
doing. So they're not special. Everybody's
Yeah.
spending their own damn money.
But look, but here's the thing: like Mississippi gave them the money up front. AT&T didn't do anything, and then when Mississippi wanted to do an audit, AT&T sued Mississippi for wanting to know where their money went.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Yeah.
like, "How dare you ask us where your money's gone? Of course we did something with it, just not what you thought."
They bought DirecTV because they didn't want to upgrade the DSL market so they could support higher speed tiers. So they wanted to offload people on the satellite so they could up the DSL speed so they didn't have to build fiber. They have put themselves where they are by avoiding just spending the money in the first place. That's what
That's
they've
true.
done. That's the reason. Uverse was in business for 8 years and only managed to get 6 million customers. It was a failure. That's why. And the Uverse product wasn't just fiber; it was fiber and DSL. They called it all Uverse. It was Uverse if it had TV and internet in it, whether it was VDSL or fiber. They didn't want to build it. They bought DirecTV to try to say, oh, it'd be cheaper just to buy DirecTV so we could offload the DSL network to up the speed. When they should have never bought DirecTV, they should have just spent the money and upgraded all their footprint. Which is why even till this day they are deactivating neighborhoods, not building fiber to them. So when you say they spend all this money in fiber, it's not real. They're only spending money in fiber in the middle of the cities and they're skipping all the other plant. They have way more plant outside of cities than they do inside of cities.
I mean, because what is it like? What's that different type of DSL where it's fiber up to to the curb and then it's DSL after.
That's your VDSL.
VDSL. They could have did that.
No, they already did do it, Keon, but it was congested. The reason why is because remember, when they were doing Uverse over the DSL side, the total bandwidth was 40 megabits. Okay. When you did TV over it, the TV took 18 of it immediately.
Yeah, Frank.
That was the problem. So they said, okay, we're going to sell DirecTV separate so we can offer higher speed so we don't have to upgrade. That's what it was.
Hold on, no radio. So Frank says in my market, AT&T is last place. Their slow 5G is all over town, but it's kind of slow. So, hey, I'm just saying, man, this is something that I have been speculating on since after the merger and seeing what place. Like for me, you got T-Mobile rushing to 5G, then you got AT&T going, man. It is what it is. We have a 5G core. We're just not doing 5G though.
Yeah, I don't care about them doing 5G. I just want them to stop pretending like they're building so much fiber. They're really not. They're really not, bro.
They're actually teaming up. They're actually teaming up with other parties to do their fiber rollout. That means they're not even trying to spend their own money to fully fund this fiber build. They just like, yo, we want to have a fiber footprint, but we don't even want to pay for it ourselves.
Bro, how much money did they lose? How much money did they lose in the whole DirecTV and HBO thing? How much money did they lose? Good 80 billion? You know how much fiber you could have built with that?
Oh, bro, if I'm telling you, no radio, and we've talked about this, if AT&T spent that money that they weren't going to spend to buy HBO Max and DirecTV and built all of that in fiber, bro, we'd have another topic. Oh, why is AT&T fiber everywhere? There'd be barely any competition.
They got that way because they're being cheap. That's what Keon's talking about. They're only motivated when someone else puts the bill. They were trying to
with somebody else,
and they bit them in the ass. That's what the problem was.
Like right now, so like the way I say it right now, what we're seeing with their rollout for their 3.45 and their version of C-band and the DoD spectrum is what AT&T does by themselves because nobody else is paying them to do this. They're putting it up because that's what they need to do to stay in the 5G game. But they're not moving away from NSA. They're not doing nothing extra.
You know what the motivator was for AT&T to try to offload the DSL? You know what the motivator was, right?
To offload DSL.
It was the cable companies. The cable companies were lifting speed tiers. The cable companies were jumping all the way up to 100 megs when AT&T was still offering 18. on the same streets.
That's my thing. If AT&T
That
legit, if they didn't buy DirecTV and built that money out with fiber, well, they would be in a very good shape.
Yeah,
that's
but you
called
have to,
bad leadership.
but
Bad leadership, dog.
look. During that time, what did they decide to do? They bought Direct TV. They bought Warner Media. Like they were doing everything they can not to be a telecom company. They wanted to go in the media. They wanted to be, hey, movies and content. That's what they wanted.
And
You
I feel
gotta
like the same
realize
thing is happening right now with fiber. The bread and butter is wireless, and now they're going to spend all this boatload of money into fiber.
yeah, they
I
should have
mean,
been done.
but that's because somebody else is fitting the bill.
No
Yeah.
one's fitting the bill with fiber.
Yeah,
Who's
no.
fitting
No. The rural expansion is the
For the
government
wireless.
fitting the bill
No,
for fiber.
no, AT&T's not getting that money because the government
They're
don't trust
not.
them with it. No.
Yeah,
Whoa,
AT&T's not getting that
really?
money. Yes.
Spectrum and a
Really?
bunch of small telecoms are getting all that money because they actually build it when the
Yes.
money shows up.
That's what I'm saying. There's no
Wow.
money they're getting.
So what I'm saying is this: them jumping to buy DirecTV was a reaction to the cable companies up in speed tiers in the first place, right? And now the same cable companies are getting all that government money to build the fiber in the places where AT&T refused to upgrade the twisted pair systems.
That's crazy.
See,
That's crazy. Even AT&T, they don't even trust AT. Like the government don't trust AT&T.
why would you? You give them all that money, they don't build nothing. You tell them, hey, you got 18 months to cover this much, and then you show up a year later and go, all right, what's the progress? Why are you asking questions? and then you get, so then you know what happens next? The government says, okay, we're gonna put it up for bid. Whoever bids the most money, we'll give them the contract. Right? The government said, hey, we got $14 billion. Who wants to put some money up and get this contract? And you know what happened? Big Cable said, here's $6 billion. What's up? You know what AT&T said? They said nothing. And then the government said, hey, you guys got 18 months. The cable company said 11 months, done. Literally what happened.
That's crazy, man.
Literally what's going on. And we wouldn't be here if the DirecTV acquisition never happened. We wouldn't even be here talking about none of it.
Yeah.
But this, like I said, this that reflects everything that's going on in those, even on for fiber, reflects back on the wireless end. The move to standalone is not urgent.
Yeah. But the funny thing is the sales failed. That's what killed them. The sales failed. They thought they would be able to get people to take satellite and then DSL. But what they failed to realize is the majority of people who would actually take the satellite don't live in markets where they have VDSL. They don't even live where that shit is. So you can't sell the two products together if the people who live in the city with VDSL already don't want a dish on their house. Only people in rural are going to take a satellite dish, but then they can't get the internet offering. So the sale doesn't work. The bundle doesn't work.
Right.
That's what used to happen, bro. I would show up to do the install and have to inform them that they can't get the internet, and they'd be pissed.
They'd be like, yo, I did this because of the internet, man.
Exactly. Bro, I'm talking about
I did this for the internet.
And the salespeople would tell them, yeah, we have service over there. And then you get there, ain't no AT&T plant here. This is CenturyLink territory. You about to get 3 meg CenturyLink over here.
Oh, God.
That didn't work. They didn't calculate right, bro. They had the poor salespeople selling internet that don't exist.
But I just didn't think that. First of all, I didn't even know that AT&T was even participating in the whole rural expansion. Like I said, that just changes my whole mindset on this whole on AT&T's rollout of 5G now.
All the money is going to the little guys. The little guys and the cable companies are getting all of that money. So that's why I got fiber going right in front of my house right now, because one of the little guys got some of that money.
Oh man. That's serious. That's serious now. Because don't get me wrong. LTE, there's nothing wrong with LTE except the only problem with LTE is capacity. Okay.
I disagree with that.
Why is that? Why is that?
Explain.
Over here in Jersey and PA, they have enough capacity. You're getting 3, 4,
listen.
No.
Wait, no, stop, Ashay. We're talking about for all the carriers, not one carrier.
Okay.
We're saying there ain't enough capacity available for all the carriers.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, because because you have to look at it from you got to look at it from 3,000 miles up, man. What's happening right now? People have multiple phone lines. People got multiple devices that connect. We were just talking about ISIM. What happens when you run it? You know, you going for your daily jog and you got 14 devices that's monitoring your heart rate and perspiration, and they all are trying to talk to the tower. You remember
Yeah.
all those devices are in that same area with LTE, and it can overload an LTE site. It could literally overload a sector.
That's gonna be in a little while. I feel like that's gonna be another 20 years, minimum 10.
All you need to do, actually, is go to a legacy Verizon tower, and I'll tell you, you'll find it today.
Oh yeah, my thing is that
Hold
I
on.
believe
So
that
Frank said something
AT&T.
about North. Hey, Frank said something about North Jersey. What was it?
What do you say about North Jersey?
Y'all cell towers over there look loaded. Everyone, is it loaded? Actually, you supposed to be giving me information, man.
North
Yeah,
Jersey. Actually, don't go to North Jersey.
all the carriers are over there. Like they're all loaded. They all have Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile on the
Right.
sites.
But what I'm saying is like for AT&T, I
Get
just
rid of
feel
the
that their race they're not even part of the race now. Like
Oh yeah,
everything
I feel
that already y'all have talked about right now basically says that AT&T is not even looking like that. It makes sense
like
now doing
AT&T's
5GE. It just
yeah,
makes sense now. We don't
AT&T
really
says
we
hey,
don't care.
AT&T says hey, if a tower's getting 200-300 down, that's enough. Move on next.
Oh yeah,
and we're not. Yeah. All we're saying is why not capitalize in the 5G era like they did in the LTE era?
right.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. But that's what they're doing.
When everybody else is getting gigged down and you're paying the same price for your AT&T, and because you got to realize, right? Every time I just want to point out something too. Every time we go through a generational gap in internet speeds, you realize all the data surrounding it also gets bigger. Like a web
Yes.
page today is 20 times the size it was 10 years ago.
Hey,
There's
look at
way more things going on.
look at cell phone apps. Like apps on look if you look at the app ecosystem on iPhone before like a handful of years ago, the apps are bigger now. And people are downloading that over the network too.
So if you have the same capacity and you keep trying to push more and more data through it, eventually you're going to hit a wall.
Right.
So you remember like mobile versions
What's
of
up,
web
EM?
pages. They had to make all these pages so small so they would operate fine on a slower connection. And so basically, whoever's holding back the speed for the internet side is literally holding back the entire internet, not just today's use case.
Right.
Think about when HTML5 dropped. I remember when HTML5 dropped. That's when you first could put. That's when you were first able to actually put HD video into a web page live.
Right. I'm just saying. What was it? Flash was holding everybody back.
Flash
That's
was
the reason.
Flash.
And Flash was garbage. I mean, like there. Flash was a resource hog.
But HTML5 couldn't work without faster internet.
Right.
The whole network had to get better. Home and mobile had to get better in order to handle all that data. I ain't saying AT&T got to get gig. That's fine. I get it. You don't have to get gig. That's fine. It's just doing nothing. Well, we've seen what happens when AT&T does nothing.
Well, right now they're doing nothing.
Direct TV happens. That's what happens. Mississippi happens. That's what happens. HBO is what happens when they do nothing.
AT&T is like it's going back down that same rabbit hole it tried to dig itself out of the last couple of years.
If they didn't get FirstNet, AT&T be dead already in the wireless sector.
Yo, I have said that a couple times. I've said that a few times.
They didn't get FirstNet. They be really bad.
FirstNet is saving AT&T's bacon right now. Golly, I really want some food. I'm hungry.
They got to the point where all they had to do was make sure they bought the extra panels. It's like, hey, we already got the money paid for the tower climbers. We got the money paid for all the new brackets and the new fiber to go up. All we gotta do is add the panels for our other bands in on it. Cheap tower upgrades. Hey, while you're up there, add the 66, the 30, and the 29 while we're up there. Versus having to do it on their own.
Hey, Frank. That is a matter of opinion. I think that because there was no competition, there was no true competition until now. And I think that if the FirstNet contract came out like in a year from now, I don't think AT&T would end up getting it. Honestly,
No, Verizon probably get it, honestly.
Verizon probably would end up getting it before AT&T would.
But you remember what happened, right? Verizon pissed the government off with the whole California thing.
Ew.
You forgot about that? The wildfire situation that happened on Verizon?
Yeah. Oh, where they chart they were people were all holding they get upgraded. They had to upgrade their stuff.
Yeah, the whole Verizon thing crashed. If that didn't happen, AT&T wouldn't have got FirstNet neither. They had to get that to Verizon. Because remember, the government's been leaning on Verizon for a long time. But that California wildfire situation is what killed it.
Hey, look, hold on. Let me respond to EM. EM, I know, sir. I know that T-Mobile would not get the FirstNet. Okay.
Oh yeah, we would never say that. We would never say that.
I am not that naive. I am not.
They would never get that contract. We know that already. It was going to be Verizon or AT&T.
But hey, I'm just saying, man. If it came out a year, like let's say it came out a year from now, I mean, it'll be kind of hard for AT&T to really tout that they have a better network when you got 3 carriers that are actually going to war with each other now. It makes your argument harder, but that contract came out during the 4G era.
That was 2017, 2018 when Verizon when they pissed the government off. Yeah.
Yep.
Verizon throttled firefighters there as Mendocino wildfire rage, fire chief says.
Well, that you pissed off the wrong people.
They pissed off the wrong
people.
Uh-huh.
Man. But yeah, hey, I'm just saying, man. I just think that AT&T is really dragging its feet, and the fact that they're at Mobile World Congress and talking about like their overall network, like, hey, look, you know what, we can do this on our network, we can do that. But people are like, but what about standalone? They go, standalone, we're good, we're on track.
But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Verizon is not far behind doing it too. But then they're gonna say it's okay.
That's true. What's going on, Gene? How you doing, sir?
Verizon is definitely going to be bringing standalone. They're going to be bringing standalone sooner than people think. I'm going to tell you that much. I really believe
Verizon?
That. Yes, they are. You better believe it.
I don't know, man.
You better believe it.
I mean, they could do N77 standalone.
I mean, you can say a lot about Verizon, right? But Verizon don't play. Okay.
Oh no, I'm never going to say that.
Think about it. Verizon didn't build LTE first, but they sure did. When they started building it, they outran everybody.
That's true. Oh, look. I would like to officially say this. So here in Maryland, in the DMV area, I'm literally starting to pick up N77 already. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to pick up N77 inside the Beltway. So if people don't really know, the Beltway area encompasses Virginia and Maryland as the two halves around DC. So the Beltway is the roadway that goes around DC. And I was, running errands the last couple of days, and I got the service menu open, and I'm starting to see N77 pop up. So where it wasn't doing before, Verizon is in super high gear right now.
They're still making me mad, but
oh no,
at least they put it up. I got 0 AT&T N77, so I don't know what to tell you on that. 0.
Hey, look. Now this goes to something else that I'm starting to see, and I don't know if it's just growing pains of being first to 5G, but have you noticed that when they aggregate N25 on T-Mobile with N41, you don't really see much of a performance difference?
I remember I'm not getting N25.
Oh. Well, I am, and I was in Applebee. No, I was in Outback, and it was flipping back and forth. It was like N25, then it was N41, and I was not getting much of a performance difference at all.
Yeah, you remember what I told you in the messages? I don't know if it was yesterday. You can't get NSA no more here.
What? Even when you force it?
Even when you force it, it still wants to go standalone.
Wow.
T-Mobile was up to something. I'm telling you, I
So
forced it, and it still went standalone. It's like, nah, standalone's fine.
EM says they've switched to N25 here finally.
Yeah, I ain't
Hey,
seen it. I
how?
tried to
Hey,
force
quick
it,
question,
can't get
M.
it.
Well, how much megahertz? What's the megahertz chunk? That's what I want to know because I was seeing it all over Reddit also where people because they pushed the update. So I did get an update on both my folds that what is it? That N25 is starting to aggregate now with everything else. Actually, it N25 is not considered ultra capacity. They don't
Of course
consider
not.
N25 ultra capacity at all. They're broadcasting the G block uh
Mm-hmm.
N25. So what's that? That's only like a 5 by 5?
Mm-hmm. That's what it is here.
Hmm.
Most of the time. But you gotta realize it's a subset too, though. It's a
He says
subset of band too.
it's a split 10 megahertz. So yeah, 5 by 5. Yeah. So, but that's the thing though. It's like they don't. It's not. How can I say it? They don't quite know how they want to integrate it into the portfolio. That's what it's starting to look like. Like if I'm in a good spot where I'm getting N41, then the primary band is going to be N41. But I
So,
was
but
in an
you,
area where it was N25 primary, but I wasn't, and it showed that 100 megahertz is a secondary, but it wasn't using it.
so Keon, N25, the uplink is 1850 to 1910 for band two.
Uh, yeah,
The downlink is 1930 to 1990 for band two, right? So
right.
remember that uplink, 1850 to 1910. All N5 is 1850 to 1915. It's only 5 more megahertz to
That's
25.
true. Hmm.
I already got 20 of band two. What the hell that five gonna do for me?
Hey,
Like
look.
really?
I no. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm just saying
I say
that it's best to
leave it
go ahead
on.
and put it all on air
Nah,
and
yeah,
have that be.
it's better off to leave that for LTE users, though.
And I'm just saying something. Those LTE users are gonna have to sink or swim. I'm sorry.
Oh, I
This
get
is
it. I get it. I'm just saying, leave them band 12 and leave them band two and give everything else over to NR, and we'd be okay. We don't need that little 5 megahertz.
when all those iPhone customers from the 10 to the 12 finally decide to upgrade, then we can finally move on.
Oh, I ain't worried about that. I'm just saying, like at the moment, it's fine. You know, it ain't needed. If I'm getting a gig down, what the hell I care about that? Maybe 100 more meg. Who cares?
Let's see.
And
EM
we both and
says this
we
is
both know
the
it ain't gonna be
biggest
100
problem with
more.
T-Mobile. They don't do anything uniform, even in a single market.
AT&T don't need it. That's why I got N66 in this shit. We can't act like that's just T-Mobile. EM.
Hey, I don't think that is exclusive to one company. I don't think that's exclusive to one company, man.
Tell me why I got N66, but I used to have band 5. Oh, tell me why.
That's
And the band 5 was better. At
uh,
least it was 10 by 10. This N66 crap is 5 by 5.
but you know
Trash.
what? Verizon got a lot of band 66 in my area though. They
There's
aggregating they aggregating like 15 megahertz of 66 and 20 megahertz of
nah.
66.
Here it's weird in some places because I travel between 3 counties. It's literally
Yeah.
different in each county. In each county, it's literally different. In some places,
Uh,
the 66 is only 5 megahertz on Verizon. In other places, it's 10 megahertz. And then sometimes you get 10, but then you get an additional carrier of a plus 5. It's weird. It's
that's a
not
weird.
consistent.
That's a
Yeah.
oh well that you
I,
know what that comes down to the different counties being treated differently.
well, they bought it. What it is T-Mobile. Well, if you actually look on Spectrum Omega, T-Mobile
Uh
owns some of that in one county, but not the other.
oh
That's what it is. So I'll give you an example. If you ride around here and you find an area where T-Mobile doesn't have, where they don't have 15 megahertz and 66, it'll show up as band 4.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
T-Mobile has more more band 66 than Verizon does here.
Oh wow. I wonder. You
Yeah.
know what? I need to go back through. I'm curious to see how much just band 66 is across the spectrum for all three carriers.
Like I said,
Because
here it varies from county to county. It varies. It's convoluted as crap. There ain't no consistency.
I know that you just said a while ago that Verizon is getting ready to move to standalone, but they do have N5, but it's not N5, it's DSS in a lot of areas.
Oh
So
yeah.
what are they going to pair it with?
Well, eventually they're gonna, like I said, if you have upgraded phones, like you talked about, people getting off LTE, they're gonna probably have to leave the LTE people on that damn band 13 and leave the 66 on LTE, so they have a low band and a kind of mid band, and just go ahead and push band 2, band 5, and the N77 all over the 5G. Eventually,
Huh.
it only makes
Yeah,
sense.
I'm just saying, like, the Verizon prides itself on that reliability. I'm just saying, man, something like
Yeah,
for them to keep up, they're gonna have to chop off an arm, or a
but
leg or
here's
something to keep
yeah.
up.
But if I think, like I said, I think with if they actually, like I told you, I know a lot of places they're still only getting 60 megahertz in 77. I got 100 megahertz from day one.
Mm.
We didn't get no 40 megahertz here, 60. We got 100 from day one.
What
So
was it? Greensboro got early clear, didn't
apparently we had 100 megahertz from day one.
it? Hey, EM said FCC needs to force the operators to swap licenses. You know that's not gonna happen,
I've
sir.
been EM. We've
That
been talking about that.
dog,
Oh my
that's not gonna
god!
happen, man.
They
You
need to
know it's not gonna happen. Look.
reshuffle the band 2. They need to
See,
reshuffle everything in the 700 megahertz. They need to reshuffle all of it and just give them. And if one got
these
to pay the
carriers,
other, they can be say, hey, say T-Mobile has a little bit more over here. Hey, AT&T pay us so we can split it. Whatever,
these
just do
carriers
it.
would literally chop off their nose, spite their face before they do
Yeah,
that
but
because
the government got to
it's an
force it.
advantage. Yeah,
The government got to
they
force it.
literally see it as an advantage. Like, yo, if you sit up here and you're company A and I'm company B, I would rather you be hamstrung than to advance forward.
But Keon, you know what pisses me off? Like AT&T has all that band 29, and they don't deploy none of it here. And nobody's using it.
Shame.
Like why you ain't even using it? That's the kind of stuff gets on my nerves. If you got stuff and you ain't deploying it, like band 30, they're not even deploying band 30 everywhere here, but they got it everywhere. Why? Pull a dish move. Hey, deploy it or give it up. Damn it.
Not the
I'm just
point
being
But
up,
real.
man.
but no
I'm
radio,
just saying.
you're screwed because they would be in fines. They never
Say
use their
what?
spectrum. You better watch out because Dish would be like, we're fucked. You never use our spectrum on the towers
Uh,
before the whole merger.
Yeah, but we know
well,
that. I'm talking about at this point, Ashley. At this point, this deep in the
Okay.
game. Why isn't band 29 and 30 on every site?
that's a good point, though.
That's
I
20
mean, they have.
megahertz, Ashley. 20 megahertz.
Now,
How
wait,
many more channels are we gonna have to
isn't
put
that?
on?
But here's the thing: isn't that restricted only to downlink only?
It doesn't matter, Keon. It's still 20 megahertz of unused spectrum.
That's
We
The
know
true.
damn
problem is
well that's 200 megabits right there in the downlink.
the problem is the government needs to clean up the spectrum and sell it like chunks, and
What
they're
what
never
I
gonna
said,
do that.
they need to reshuffle it. They need to go back and say, all right, look here, everybody gets 20 of 700.
Look,
Bam.
look. The only the radio,
And
the
make it
only way
TD
it's
and go
gonna
ahead and go
happen.
TDD. TDD.
Look,
If you
look.
do TDD, you ain't got to do all this complicated shit if you go TDD with it. Everybody gets
The
20. That'll literally make everybody 700 better, not worse.
the only way it's gonna happen is all three carriers are gonna have to petition the government to do it. But they're not gonna agree to do it. I'm telling you,
Everybody,
they were.
I'm just saying everybody wins in that scenario.
Oh yeah, everybody wins in that scenario, but they don't want to see nobody win. it's like mutual assured destruction. I would rather you lose and me semi lose before I let you even gain a foot. That's the thing. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you progress further. You correcting the problem progresses you further.
It just pisses me off when I ride through a major city and if say I regularly pass 20 sites on the way through, and only 3 of them have band 30 and 29. It's a joke.
Yeah, regulations are bad, sir. That's what I've been told.
No, I'm
you should always deregulate. We should always deregulate, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think that I'm being very jokey about this right now, I probably am.
You know what's hilarious though? The people who anti-regulation sure love passing regulations, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
No drag queen.
Yeah. Hey, look, me personally, I just think
that was for UK. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just think, me personally, like the more competitive they become, the more entrenched they're going to become.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes, regulations are evil. They're evil.
Hey, well, let them deregulate your water supply. Let them deregulate your food supply, and watch what
deregulate your trains, and now we got all these derailments. But that's my jab for the evening. Yes, I'm sorry, that's my jab.
Hey,
that's my jab.
Keon, that's big facts, Keon. Big facts. You used to hear like train derailment like once every 10 years. We done had like 6 in 6 months. Take your deregulation.
Man. Hey, when companies don't have to try, look what AT&T's doing.
Look, Keon, the police write me a ticket if my tires is bald, but there ain't got to be no brakes on that train.
Don't worry, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad, sir. That's bad. That's bad.
Oh shit! I don't know. A 3,000 ton train ain't gotta have no brakes, but my 3,000 pound car better have some fresh tires on it. You know
hey, tread touches the road, but apparently, steel on steel don't mean nothing.
Yo, so what they're saying is true about that town in Ohio. That town in Ohio is done, son.
Oh God,
it's done. Somebody was talking about this ain't even nowhere near like Chernobyl, and then like actually it is like Chernobyl.
Oh God, it's that bad.
Everybody gonna have to move.
Oh
apparently.
God,
I don't. I got to dig deeper into that, but apparently, yeah, they're done. They're done. Their son ain't gonna be that well water. Ain't no good. None of that stuff no good no more.
They can afford it. You're right. They're gonna have to afford to relocate people. That's what it looked like. But hey, so
the government will end up picking up that tab too.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Government. I hope I don't sound. You mean us?
Yeah, I mean us.
Yes.
I hope I don't sound too bad. My PC is under reconstruction right now, so I'm talking to you on my phone.
Wait. So I saw that you said you were trying to sell your PC case.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys need it, I'm just looking to get rid of it.
Huh.
Case, and then I've got it all in
micro ATX. What ATX, micro ATX? What you got?
It's a mid-tower ATX.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And a 280 mil radiator. No fans.
So yours was water cooled.
It was. It's not anymore.
Why did you get away from the water cooler, man?
Honestly, you want my honest opinion? Yeah. Because I bought a new case that is. I bought a new case that didn't fit my radiator. That's about it.
Oh no!
But if I had the choice, I'd probably still be rocking it. But I bought a new case, and I need a 360 mil radiator, and the one that I have is 280. So bye water cooling.
Oh, Man, you don't go backwards, man. Once you water cool, you can't go back to air cool, man.
I mean, I'm not really pushing that much heat though, dude. I mean, my computer's really not that crazy overclocked or anything. I'll be fine.
What was that already? Oh,
So what did I miss? What are y'all talking about tonight?
well, AT&T's been the point of my contention tonight.
AT&T is like the Death Star that forgot it was a warship.
Oh,
essentially, they could have slaughtered the entire industry, and yet they keep holding themselves. They're the only reason why they're not just slaughtering their own industry. They are their own worst.
On paper, AT&T should be killing it right now, but they do everything. They do everything in their power to be the cheapest possible. Like everything. I didn't think a company could actually be like, oh, I just don't want to do nothing. But give me all the money, though.
Didn't you know the fiber to the prem bill is just so expensive?
Duh.
Yeah, but if they would have just done it, they would have been paying back already. But they didn't.
Yeah, they just had to go ahead and do it.
No, and now they want to do it after all the missteps. They want to do it. Yeah.
I don't listen to a damn word that comes out of that company.
I've been saying that.
Because the reason why I was talking about that story was as everybody's been trying to go to 5G. Verizon was doing millimeter wave, and T-Mobile's trying to hurry up and go to standalone 5G. You turn and look at AT&T, and you go, "What are you doing?" "Oh, we're doing a little of this, we're doing a little of that. We're doing. Don't worry, we're 5G. Thumbs up, no problem."
Yeah.
I mean, I think AT&T has proven time and time again that the 5G race really doesn't matter. I mean, they have seen quarter over quarter growth like nobody's business just off of a deal. That's all it is.
But that was always off the FirstNet, though.
But remember, though, EM, how many customers did they lose before they built? They lost like 20 million subs. They're just gaining back people they already had.
No, I know, but all I'm saying is that I don't think they really. I mean, why do they don't see the need to try because they're still gaining customers?
Yeah, but they're gaining customers through the government contract that they, that basically paid them to expand. They get customers because of the contract.
But what makes you say that? What makes you say that? Because they're strictly gaining customers off of the fact that they are offering a good deal. That's it.
But EM, they're still not at the amount of numbers that they were before.
They're showing.
Okay. All I'm saying is this, right? If all I'm doing is getting back where I already was, am I really winning?
No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that they've proven that they can come back and not base their wins off of the 5G network, because it really, at this point, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing. Now, my take on it, my take has been different than everybody else's. I think that movement to 5G is important, but it's only being important to one company right now. The other, Verizon, has been begrudgingly being yanked into this battle. But AT&T is basically like, yo, they're going to do just NSA, and that's it. They're going to put up a couple of antennas for 5G and be able to say, oh, the icon comes on, thank you, leave us alone.
I disagree.
That's all I see from AT&T. I don't see them trying to move forward because look what they did before. 5GE, then the 5G Plus is like they haven't even codenamed their own version of 5G yet. Where Verizon and T-Mobile already did ultra wideband and ultra capacity, but they're like 5G Plus. That's the standard. We're good. 2 thumbs up, no problem.
I mean, but why do they need to go through these exorbitant lengths to name their shit something different?
They did it before, EM.
Yeah, They
Or
did.
5G.
That
Yeah, but
No,
maybe they
5G
realized
was a
they
software
realized that
update.
But what
they
I'm getting at
realized
this,
that
right?
they could get themselves into some legal hot water, and they decided maybe I won't do that this time.
But it's 2 a.m. in 10 years from now, when they haven't made any of these upgrades and everybody else is way past, are they not going to start looking like an outdated network at that point?
I mean, I think that they'll continue to upgrade their network. I just don't think that they're going to upgrade. I don't think they don't have a reason to keep pushing the way that the other two are right now.
Well, here you go. So
So AT&T is recovering back to a previous level. T-Mobile is reaching new heights. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. AT&T can't say they're winning anything because they're not achieving new successes. They're re-achieving shit they already had 10 years ago.
So,
that's not winning.
Case in point, EM. So I was in Philadelphia, and Verizon got Philadelphia and downtown on lockdown. Yo, I came back home, millimeter wave radiated. Okay, it was millimeter wave everywhere. But guess who was right there next to Verizon, AT&T, and they were only doing small cells for LTE, and that's it. There was no millimeter wave at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I hit maybe one site that might have had it, and then I held on for a hot second and then let it go. So that's what I'm saying is AT&T's progression into the 5G era is basically just like they just limped in.
And I will give you one more piece of information. Everybody's talking about AT&T building fiber. And tell me, why did they take losses in their home internet, not gains?
Ooh.
Did they post losses for the quarter?
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
They as a whole, right? While they added 280,000 fiber customers per se, their total broadband subscribers, they still took a loss of 40,000. So they literally gained fiber subscribers, but they lost every other type of subscriber. So in the end, their total subscriber number is still 40,000 less.
Well, and see, that's where I have a problem with AT&T, and I've voiced my displeasure with them to you guys before, as someone who lives in a market where you can only get copper. That's their biggest problem, is that they don't feel the need to address those customers at all. They would rather lose them than convert them.
But this is something I have said ever since I stumbled on this beautiful community that we're in, is that AT&T doesn't try. They don't. I think that they just live off the name AT&T. That's what I'm thinking. Like, just because we're AT&T, like they walk into a room, their lawyers come into a negotiation and go, "But we're AT&T though."
Think about it like this, right? Everything people accuse the cable company of, AT&T does it to a higher level.
I'm not disagreeing with you guys.
They say the cable companies don't upgrade. You're not doing this, not doing that. AT&T's doing even less.
Oh,
even less.
Oh, but bro, I thought they were doing 50 gig backhaul.
There you go. Don't
like I said,
don't do that.
My frustration with them is that they have the ability to literally slaughter the industry and they choose not to. That's what annoys me about them. That's the only thing that annoys me about them.
What if you gave T-Mobile AT&T's budget?
I don't think T-Mobile would do anything with it.
No. I don't believe that, dog. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I don't.
What, you think we're gonna get you think we're gonna get T-Fiber, T-Mobile fiber?
You know why I say I don't believe that? AT&T was worth $480 billion like 20 years ago. With inflation, they're only worth $600 billion. If you actually do your math on the money they've spent, they've actually lost money, not gained it. So
I'm just saying, man.
If T-Mobile had half the budget, they would still be doing more than AT&T. I really believe that.
Hey, look. That thought experiment has always been one of those things, because I watched Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he said that if NASA if you gave the DoD or the Department of Defense budget to NASA, man, it's nothing we could have done. Nothing.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
You said space. That is not the final frontier.
But here's what it is though. AT&T is already so big. They're full of themselves. T-Mobile still has a hunger to go up. That's why they would actually spend the money. AT&T is like, shit, we've been on this mountain this long, 100 years. We're fine.
That's why I keep saying that I think they just walk into these negotiations and basically say, well, we're AT&T though.
Yeah, but we're AT&T though. Yeah,
we're AT&T though. Like, yo, hey, what? You need to see our credentials, but we're AT&T.
Look at the whole U.S. telecom system. We built it. Okay.
Right.
We built it. We're AT&T though. Oh, you like that Verizon stuff? We built that too, by the way.
Well, who was the last company to challenge AT&T?
What was the last company to challenge AT&T?
MCI, baby.
MCI, exactly. I knew that already.
Oh man.
Because MCI was the reason that the monopoly of AT&T went down in flames to begin with.
Exactly.
Hey.
Exactly right.
But that's what I'm saying is right now you got three companies in this whole cellular game. One is pushing to newer heights. You got Verizon looking to come up with the rear and basically try to pass them. And AT&T's like sitting in the back, still in the pits, going, yeah, it's how many laps? We're good.
All I'm saying is Verizon has been the winner for a long time. And when the winner is working their ass off, you might want to pay attention. You might want to pay attention. That's all I'm saying. When the winner's working hard, that's all I'm saying.
Ian, let me say this. I don't know if you heard. Ian, I don't know if you heard me on the stream, but what was it? I was driving to last night, coming back home, and I'm just looking down at my phone, and before I enter my complex, N77 at 100 -122. It would literally Verizon's pushing this N77 hard, and they're putting like it's close to my homie tower.
To me,
so they're pushing hard now.
Yeah, to me it seems like they haven't turned up your home site yet, but they're pushing it from another site.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Before there was nothing for the last, I say 6 weeks, there was nothing. Now all of a sudden, I say my area, since I live in Prince George's County, the whole Prince George's County is starting to get lit up.
I told you it was coming.
Oh no, I didn't doubt it. It's just that I'm surprised at how fast it's moving.
What were you saying on radio?
Let me ask you a question. So all those places where AT&T still has Twisted Pair and they're no longer letting people sign up for DSL, do you not think they have a missed opportunity to do wireless home internet?
I think that they have a missed opportunity to do fiber.
Well, I understand it, but it's too late for that already. Like in reality, their DSL footprint is so large they would never catch up. It's so large.
Ugh.
So like even the places where they've neglected EM, there's like 5 companies building in one AT&T footprint. 5 of them, different small companies. Because one can't build it all. That's how big those areas are. We're talking about 20, 30-mile stretches of Twisted Pair.
But then on top of that, then you add insult to injury, and you're going to have fixed wireless in the area too.
That's what I'm saying. If AT&T already had a DSL customer there, and instead of just saying, you know what, screw it, no customer, why not upgrade the cell tower right down the street and go ahead and convert them people? You already got them in your system. Just move them over. Versus letting T-Mobile and let Jim Bob's fiber company come in there and take them all.
I mean, I think AT&T not choosing to do fixed wireless was a mistake from the get-go, especially considering that those customers who live out in those areas, I mean, let's be honest, most people will stick with whatever provider they already have rather than switch to a new one.
Exactly.
That's true.
And if you were to offer those customers, like let's say, I'm just going to use like a random number, just like a fixed rate guaranteed for life on a fixed wireless product.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can get there before the other competitors come in, I don't see what harm it does. You know, even if you do lose
Exactly.
some of them.
Well,
Like,
hey, look at this rule expansion for T-Mobile. I mean, the fixed wireless doesn't have to be perfect; it just has to get there.
Yep.
You just gotta get you just gotta get to the front door, and then you can, even if your conversion rate is 10 or 15%, that's 10 or 15% of revenue that you didn't have before.
And I will even say this, right? I would respect AT&T if they said, yes, we don't need the 5G for the mobile side. But you know what? We're going to dedicate it for home fixed wireless access to all of DSL footprints.
Yeah, then I would say, okay, bet. Then yeah,
That
but they're not
would be
but they're not
genius.
trying to do that either.
That would be genius. But you know, but Keon, they did try to do air gig though.
Sure.
See, so a company, so that's why I say they're full of it. A company who says they don't care about fixed wireless spends all that money trying to figure out how to make air gig work. I think AT&T says one thing, but they really feel another way. They say stuff publicly, but they don't mean it, bro. Why they spend all that money trying to develop a freaking air gig if they didn't care?
Well, I think that some people at AT&T don't think outside the box.
Remember, air gig was the same thing. Air gig was them not wanting to upgrade stuff.
Right.
Let's figure out how to get speeds out there without upgrading the plant. It's the same thing. Everything they do is how to get out of doing something. That's what they have a habit of that. How can we not actually do anything? Or how can we just do the minimum? That's their approach to 5G. That was their approach with the air gig away. That was their approach by DirecTV. And at the moment, from what I'm seeing, that's their approach with fiber too.
Yeah. Because, like you just said, they're not getting no money, so they're just looking for the cheapest way possible to deploy their fiber.
They're basically saying, how can we stretch this dollar out for the next 20 years versus actually doing anything for real? How can we keep riding this coattail longer and longer?
I don't agree with a lot of the things AT&T does. I'll applaud them on some of their tech because I think they do a great job where they want to do a great job. But again, like why the fact that they are willing to just purge customers because they don't want to upgrade their existing plant just blows my mind.
Mm-hmm. Blows my mind too, man. Y'all lucky I don't run AT&T. I'd have slaughtered Verizon and T-Mobile a long time ago. I'd have been like, look, y'all, we about to spend $100 billion. It's gonna hurt for the next 5 years, 6 years. We're gonna spend $100 billion. We're gonna build the dog shit out this fiber, and then we're gonna sit back and wait for the money to roll.
But no, Radio, you're an engineer-minded person. Normally, when these CEOs are put in, they're of like you know, of the quote unquote financial industry. What is cool financially, not what's cool engineer wise. So you and I, we would be like, yo, we're gonna invest in fiber everywhere. Let's do it. Go.
See, at least T-Mobile has an excuse.
That's not sexy. That's not sexy.
T-Mobile don't got the money. T-Mobile got an excuse. They ain't got the money. AT&T don't have an excuse. They have the money.
That's true.
That's my problem.
That's
so everybody wants to jump on T-Mobile. At least T-Mobile don't have the money. AT&T got all that money and still ain't doing it.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. Go ahead.
I mean, the one of the biggest, and this is what a lot of people don't take into account when they talk about Verizon. One of the reasons why Verizon has been so successful with their network is because they put engineers in charge.
Well, I mean, that's the way. That's kind of technically the way you're supposed to do it. If you want it to be done and done right, you don't put somebody. You don't go find, you know, the pencil pusher to do it. You go find the actual engineer that can actually do the work and know what the work is and the lingo and all, and know the tricks of the trade. But that's not how it happens when you get further up the ladder.
Yeah, the problem is too, though, these executives make all these promises to investors and shareholders and stuff that they have to kind of uphold in the short term. So then they end up literally handcuffing themselves from doing certain things by doing so.
Right.
You know,
well, I think we're going to see a positive change with Verizon in the coming months.
Oh,
they ain't got a choice.
I don't know.
They actually have a. Here you go. The way that I saw 4G is Verizon turned and looked at AT&T and was like, you stay on your side, I stay on mine, right? But now Verizon turns and looks at T-Mobile and goes, yo, I'm gonna slit your throat the first chance I get.
I think, but Keon, I think they're looking at AT&T like that too.
Really? I don't get the feeling like I said, AT&T's not doing nothing.
Doesn't matter. AT&T is still, most people have crowned him as the LTE winner as far as performance.
Right.
Not coverage, but performance. They were crowned the LTE winners. Verizon don't like that, bro. See, I believe Verizon is stubborn too, and they're stuck up, but at least they're still trying regardless. They're like, we know we the shit, but we gonna prove it once again. AT&T is like, we know we the shit, but we gonna chill. That's the two different attitudes. They both know that they're the shit, but Verizon actually believes that, hey, we can't even let these companies get close. We gotta actually start spending this money. That's why they dumped all that money in the millimeter wave.
Right.
That's why they did that. If Verizon was just chilling like AT&T, they wouldn't have dumped all that money in millimeter wave. Think about how the two companies responded. Verizon had more customers than both of them. They had more customers than T-Mobile and freaking AT&T. And they still dumped all that money in the millimeter wave. It's because they knew that they can't lose. They can't afford to lose. They can't let themselves fall. AT&T is just stubborn enough to let themselves lose, just like they lost the damn. Honestly, I think they lost the home internet race. In the grand scheme of things, AT&T lost. Yeah, they lost the home internet race. They're playing catch up on the home internet race because they don't have their actual high speed footprint is tiny.
That's true.
They ain't even close to big cable. Yeah, they got symmetrical fiber, but if you look at a whole footprint of network and customer service, AT&T ain't got 33 million people with high speed internet on their shit.
Ooh.
They might have 15 with actual high speed.
But no radio. They were doing 20 gig service to people.
Yeah, in 10 neighborhoods. Come on, dog. That's the problem, though. Would you rather give 33 million people 1 gig or 15 million people 20 gig?
Well, I'm gonna always go for 1 gig to everybody if we can.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. That doesn't look good in the newspapers, though.
Who cares if you get in the bread?
Yeah. No radio's got a point.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying, though. They in the broadband world, as far as broadband footprint, ain't nobody close to big cable. As far as footprint goes in home broadband, nobody's even close. Yeah, we don't have symmetrical, and yet we still serve more people with high speed.
Well,
like,
and here's another thing to consider, and this is going to be kind of a niche perspective. So AT&T is the ILEC in a lot of places where I live, right?
Yep.
They have let their VDSL plant rot over the last however many years, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have allowed TDS to come in as a CLEC, and TDS is offering fiber to the prem in areas where AT&T didn't want to upgrade their copper plant, and they are taking these customers and having a great time doing it.
EM is seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Thing I'm seeing.
But here's the thing. The question at hand is this: what is the fire that's going to make AT&T finally realize that they need to do something? Because right now we've talked about multiple different vectors of this company, and they're not doing anything across.
They're never going to change. They don't care.
They're never going to change. What they just said about 5G is their attitude about everything they do.
Oh God!
Essentially, we will do the bare minimum, and we will still make a profit. Who cares about reaching new heights? We already up here.
That's the way. That's the AT&T way.
Hey, man.
Or as a good friend of mine says, the Bellhead way.
Ooh.
Look, they still got the first dollar they made in 1901. They still got that dollar. Like Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob. They still got that dollar in the
God. Mr. Krabs. Look, at least Mr. Krabs had put some paint on the building. AT&T's like, yo, you're showing some dry rot. It'll fix itself. It'll be all right.
I'm saying,
Like
Keanu,
if you ever have the pleasure of going into an AT&T CO, you know just how decrepit some of their stuff is.
Oh Lord.
yes. Look, hey, look, they got all the Infinity Stones, and they just sitting there looking at them, polishing them every day.
Ah,
Oh, that one got a little dust on it. Dust it off a bit.
it's the idea. It's the idea that we could threaten to snap our fingers, but
Hey,
we choose
hey,
not
shit.
to.
Hey,
But,
shareholders.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Do you think that they, even if they could, metaphorically snap their fingers, that they would even be able to execute at this point?
It's too late.
Because
It's too late.
because the person
It's too
in
late.
contract show they can execute.
It's too late. Yeah, it's too late. It's way too late. These other companies
Like,
already
unless
got the
there's some
contract.
sort of massive reform in that company, like operationally, I just do not see them ever being able to compete, or at least expedite their operations to the point where they're seen as a viable competitor to the other two and all the broadband providers.
Yeah, the little guys. I know what though? I'm kind of happy because the little guys are winning. These little companies are getting money. I'm happy for them.
Oh, me too. Me too. I mean, the thing is that at the end of the day, those companies are doing what we all should have expected AT&T to do, which is provide reasonable, affordable broadband service at a good price to people out in the areas where they desperately need it. And AT&T has proven that they don't care about that, and these other companies are willing to put in the legwork.
All right, hold on. So Brandon just came back. He must have been dinner time. That's why he left. So Brandon, question.
They fill that hole in yet over there in your neighborhood that AT&T dug up?
They dug under the fence, man.
They dug under the fence.
They dug under the fence. They're like, no, that fence can stay there. Don't worry. No worries.
That fence gonna fall over in about a month.
Yes, it is. No, hey, so Brandon, how do you feel about AT&T, sir? You reside in AT&T country, so I say you reside in AT&T country, so I'm just saying, how do you feel?
I feel that they're going the actual teleco direction versus them having a freaking bazaar and all this other crap, because I feel like they've had too much on their plate, and it's like now they can actually focus on wireless and
But they're not focusing on wireless.
Brandon, who put it on the plate? Who went to the buffet and got another plate? Who did that? That was them. Nobody gave them that food. They had too much on their plate. Did nobody make them take all that food on that plate?
No, but I know, but like they literally went to Golden Corral and stacked up the plate, and now they realize that they're diabetic and they don't have to put themselves that much food anymore.
They're diabetic. Oh man, but Brandon,
Wait, hold on.
Give him an insulin shot.
Huh?
Shit. Give him an insulin shot. God damn it. Time for that shit.
Man.
Hey, at least that's somewhat affordable now.
Huh?
Ooh, get him, Yale. Get him.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, insulin was outrageous for a while there.
Yeah. No, but I like that they're actually going, like they're actually focusing on fiber, and then I'm sure eventually they'll focus back on the wireless side.
But I'm just saying, but Brandon, their fiber focus is a joke.
No radio. I feel that it's different now than it was yesterday.
Yeah, they expanded 20 miles.
They didn't even do that though. They're just going back to the same neighborhood, bro. They are focusing on high population city areas. The majority of their plant is not in the city. If you think about it, if you got 10 million miles of plant and you only spend all your money in the 500,000 area that is the city, and all the rest of that plant is just sitting, and somebody else is out there on all your other plant building next to it, building brand new fiber. You can't show up 20 years later and build fiber. Them
Radio.
areas are done. They're gone.
No radio. You're missing the other caveat. They're just gonna do what AT&T does best and just buy them out. That's all. They did the work. They put in the legwork.
AT&T, bro.
They're
First
gonna
of all,
buy them.
Keon, AT&T is not known for buying telecom.
Ooh.
That ain't their pedigree.
That's
They're
true.
no. That ain't their pedigree. That ain't what they do. The cable companies are known for buying
AT&T will
telecom.
about building it once and then never touching it again.
Never touching it ever again. No matter if it's 100 years later, they don't want to touch it.
Meanwhile, Comcast is building theme parks.
He right though.
That's true. That's true.
Yo, all I gotta
Universal
say though,
Studios.
hey, all I gotta say though is that Raptor route is fire at Universal Studios. That shit fire. Thank you, Comcast.
Bro, I had a coworker who used to work for Mr. Blue, and he was out on a fiber cut, or it wasn't even a fiber, it was a cable cut. And there was cable that they were repairing that was placed underground in a manhole in 1901.
Yep.
Whoa.
Hey,
And
Keon,
they were
surprised.
still freaking using it.
remember I said earlier, I said 1901, they still got that dollar?
Yes.
I wasn't joking.
You wasn't joking.
Hey, Edmund, did you pull up that article about that Google Fiber in San Antonio?
Oh,
no, I didn't do
Jesus.
that one. I didn't do that one.
We don't, Brandon, we don't care about them old boomers. I hope all their grass die. I don't give a damn.
Oh, snap.
No, I didn't.
Yep.
I didn't do that one. Hold on.
And look, they ought to be happy. At least Google put some protection around so you knew it was there. They've been talking about they're tripping over Google wires. No, they put up stakes and put things around so you couldn't trip over it. I saw that
No,
shit.
Brandon, in all honesty, what's the purpose of Google Fiber even going there? They're just get themselves out.
Oh, Google Fiber is an even bigger joke than freaking AT&T.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
11 cities? Really? You don't even cover the whole city? You cover like 3 blocks in a city and you call it a
How
Google
many
city?
customers do you think they have? Around 30?
30 what?
1,000?
Yeah, if you want a good laugh at Google Fiber's build out, go to the FCC broadband map and filter out by Google Fiber and look at how many addresses they serve. Because you'll see just how terrible it is.
I mean,
That's a joke.
That looks like Santa Claus.
In the retrospect of being in the
Bro.
telecom, I mean, Google is still an infant.
I don't care, man. They've been talking about that since what, 2015?
Bro, yeah, no, before 2015, dog. Bro, they were already building in North Carolina in like 2013 and desert.
Wait. Didn't this start in 2012?
Yeah, 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
They claimed they were going to Greensboro and they're going to Durham and Raleigh and Chapel Hill and all these places, and all they did was build a spot in Charlotte and a spot in Durham, and they left town.
I bet you $100. Verizon has more customers on millimeter wave than Google Fiber has people connected.
Facts.
Oh no,
I
that's
would
real
be
talk.
willing to,
That's
I'd
real
be
talk.
willing to put money on that.
Facts.
That's real
That's
talk on
big
that.
facts. That's real talk, Brandon. Real talk. Facts.
I just think that it's not easy now. I mean, look, if you can't hang it on the pole, and people don't want you to be digging in front of their lawns, it's not many options you have left except what air gig, hopefully.
I don't know, y'all.
And
T-Mobile
that's
might
not as
have more
reliable
fiber
either.
customers. T-Mobile might have more fiber customers than Google. I don't know.
Oh
bro.
damn, that's messed up. That's messed up. That's messed up.
Hey, but I'll give them this. Where the Google Fiber is, it's great.
Hey, you know what?
That's
Here's
it,
the thing. I would say this much. Google Fiber went to like, what was it, Alabama? Was it Alabama or Louisiana or something, right? And as soon as Google said that they were going to offer gig service, AT&T all of a sudden miraculously decided to do gig service too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like, oh, we can do that too. What are you talking about? Like, oh, you can? We never would have thought it.
Well, from what I understand, a lot of the fiber that they built over in the Orange County area, freaking, they ended up selling it to AT&T anyway.
Gosh.
They gave up on it. They said, "Hey, who wants it?" AT&T said, "We do."
Man, yeah. So here it is. Homeowners tired of Google Fiber lines on front yard. So Brandon, how do you fit? Do you want Google
Uh,
Fiber coming down your road?
No.
hey, I'm gonna tell you like this though. This company putting fiber on my street. I bet all the old ladies is bringing them lemonade and sweet tea with a little lemon in it.
And some
Oh, you
cranberry
hungry?
pie.
You want something? No, no, we in the Brandon. I'm from the South.
Oh, they bring lemonade and tea.
And pound cake.
Uh huh.
No damn cherry. No pound cake. I mean, what we do in the South. Pound cake.
Eat the pie, enemy. Eat the pie.
They loving on them guys. They happy as shit. Them guys is building fiber to them in the middle of nowhere. They over there offering their firstborns and shit. They don't give a damn.
Oh,
These people are thankful for anybody.
so I got one more story, and this has something to do with the build out and the cable the digital divide. So hold on. So I came across this article from RCR Wireless, and basically it was talking about the digital divide, rural versus urban. Connecting all Americans' needs, solutions, in urban versus rural. So everything's been pretty much concentrated towards the urban side, but now we're starting to push more into the rural. How do y'all feel about this? Being technicians, and what do y'all think? Are we doing enough? Are we not doing enough? What do you
So
see?
I feel like the government has finally given giving rural Americans finally attention and that they deserve because they've been left out.
Well, they've always been
And
left
it's
out.
even gotten to a point where HughesNet and Viasat have even like upped their capacity a little bit onto their network because they're scared as well.
oh, they're done. They're done
They're
already.
very great.
Matter of fact, they're already dead, and they're just hovering over their own body, confused by whether they're dead or alive right now. They
Oh
No,
done.
my
Randy,
God!
do they have a a KU band?
Of course they do. NKA, they don't matter. They're done. They're done, son.
Hey, look, I'm just to the place like right now where we finally can start expanding more into different areas, and these
Yo,
build outs
yo,
are starting to become a little bit
hey,
more robust.
hey, Keon,
Yeah.
don't be surprised if your parents start seeing fiber get built.
Hey,
I'm telling you. Remember,
hey,
the
No,
people
Randy,
who
they
are
still
building
gonna be
on
on
my
T-Mobile
street.
home internet. They gonna be like, this still
Nah,
works.
no, I'm just telling you, Keon, the same people building on my street are the same ones with their fiber running through your hometown. Same
that I
company.
understand. I understand.
Same company, dog.
Hey, look, I don't think that it was a coincidence that where they placed that fiber run, it literally slices through eastern North Carolina, like a
Mm-hmm.
perfect cut. It's a perfect place. Like it runs
Yeah.
straight down the highway.
And EM, I know you work. I know you work in the backhaul side. I'm telling you, that's what that company is doing, bro. When that backhaul company merged with that home internet company, all of a sudden they got fiber projects all over the state.
Mm.
It was like a light switch. All of a sudden, they're building like four. They're literally the one building in front of my house. They're building in 3 counties right now in 2 states, and they're building next to the old legacy backhaul that was already there from the backhaul side. So I'm guessing they had like empty fiber. So they don't have to, all of a sudden, they don't have to run fiber all the way from their hubs. They can just grab onto that damn backhaul network and grab a dark fiber and bam, fiber neighborhood because it's everywhere.
Yep. Yep.
Yep, that's
Hey,
what's going on. I'm trying to tell you. They're building in Randolph County, Alamance County, and they're building in 2 more counties in West Virginia, of all places.
oh God.
And if you look at the map, all the cities on that list, that old backhaul network goes through it already. That's what it was. They were like, hey, our backhaul and your home internet product, put them together, merge.
Mm.
Yep, it's getting real.
I'm just happy that we're starting to now start realizing that people other than in a city needs to have better access. I mean, if anything, a lot of people are leaving some of these cities because it's just too crowded.
Yeah, but see, most of the people don't care to move into subdivisions. And when
That's
when you
true.
take 300 houses in a spot, it's a lot easier to get somebody to build a network to it than you got 300 houses in 20 miles.
That's
It's a
true.
lot easier.
That's true.
But that government money is like, hey, where aren't you building? Here's money, build over there. So,
Mm.
so
No, I wanted to pluck y'all brains on this one because I just think that the push to rule is a great thing. I just think are we not funding it enough? Because when this
no,
government money runs out,
it ain't gonna
are
run
we?
out. It ain't gonna run
It's
out,
not.
Keon.
It's not.
No. Believe me, it's not.
I
We're just
believe.
seeing we're just seeing the damn iceberg. I'm telling you. We ain't even
Mm.
hit it yet. We ain't, there's a whole lot more ice up under the water, dog. Believe me. You gotta
I
realize,
agree.
right? These counties and these states have been begging the government for this for fucking 20 years, Keon.
Wow.
This didn't just happen. This I'm telling you, it's these local regulators and these people that they're getting voted in. That's all they hear. Broadband, 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 broadband. That's all they're hearing. They're in DC begging for it every day. We're
Man.
only seeing the beginning. Plus, the
Hey, look. I
government, you got to
was
realize too, job creation happens because of this too. So you got to
right.
realize if you're a politician and you push to get that funding, you're creating jobs as well. Because these small telecoms, bro, I have a telecom near me. They only have 62 employees, but because of the expansion, they're gonna probably have over 200 employees in the next year.
Oh man.
62
Hey, look.
employees.
Hey, let's check this out.
Telling
Check this out. As an Uber driver, I get a chance to see different people, and literally picked up this one guy that works for the government,
you.
and he was doing the rule, the putting fiber or communications on Indian land, and then I like a couple of weeks
Yep.
later, I picked up the
Yep.
people who were like representatives for like the Indian nation lobbying
Mm-hmm.
Congress to put
Yeah. You not
fiber
remember I
and
told you
communications on their land.
we built fiber on 2 reservations already.
Oh man.
It's serious, dog. I'm trying to tell you.
People want people want access.
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying that, when we look at AT&T and different other companies, like we've talked about it. I just saying that I don't want to all of a sudden when the government stops, giving money out for this, all of a sudden we go back to a stalemate again. That's what I'm worried about.
It's not
I
gonna
don't.
happen.
I
I'm
don't.
telling
I
you.
don't think they. I don't think they'll. I think the money will always be there to build out broadband because right now it's more essential than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You got
and
more people working from
even
home
at
than
the
ever.
state level too, you got to remember too. A lot of that funding comes from the states. Like at least up here, the governor, albeit, is in kind of a tough spot, like politically, because he's on one side of the boat, and the majority party's on the other side. But his main fight right now is broadband. That's all he talks
Mm-hmm.
about.
Mm.
So it's not
Because
just federally; it's also coming from your state people.
that's what I tell
And
you.
that means that even if federal money runs dry eventually, there's going to be state funding coming in.
And you got to
Hey
realize
man,
too, right? That these states they get money from the government for other stuff, but they can reallocate those funds to where it needs to be too. So that's why I
that's
say
true.
you be surprised. I'm trying to tell you, the money ain't gonna stop, Keon. You mark my word.
Hey, look, I'm just saying,
You know,
man. We talked about like cable companies are for profit. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to believe that all of a sudden, when
Edmund
the funds
broadband
dry up.
now.
But remember what I told you, Evan, though? The government gave 14 billion. The cable company only had to put up 6. and they
That's
still
true.
get to make all the profit from the build.
Yeah.
They ain't
yeah,
got to
yeah.
kick none of that money back to the government. They don't got to give none of it back.
I understand.
Just saying.
Oh, go
And
ahead,
those are
Brandon. You about to say
guaranteed
something?
customers.
No,
Them
I
customers
was
are
about to
guaranteed.
say broadband is like electricity now.
They treat it more important than water. You can't even get fresh water in Flint, but I bet they're gonna get some fiber soon.
Oh God.
No, but for real, that's why we keep saying that they're not gonna stop. That like there's going to be
R.I.P. to the Ninja Turtle in Pittsburgh, but
Oh,
but no,
But
I'm just
no.
saying, man. Hey, look, it's interesting to see the build out. That's just for me, right? I'm happy, man. Hey, look, if my parents able to get, something better than DSL, 3 megabits down and 300 kilobits up, like, yo, I'm all
Yeah.
for it.
I'll tell you what, Keon, just for shits and giggles, go to the company's website. The company is called Lumos. Go to the website and put your parents' address in.
Uh-oh. I'll do that a little bit later.
I'll put it to you like this.
bet.
They didn't even start building the fiber in my area until about 2 months ago, but I was already on the list 6 months ago.
no, Ray, do you see Lumos being bought up by Charter?
No, not right now. It's gonna be a while. It depends too, though, right? It really depends, honestly. That's what Charter wants to do. That don't mean that's what they will do. That's
Or
what
do
they
you think
want, of course.
Brightspeed bought it out?
Oh no, Brightspeed ain't gonna buy it out. Brightspeed gonna run out of money. I'm going to tell you that.
You said
AKA
they're gonna run out
Lumen
of money?
CenturyLink.
Bro, they bought CenturyLink, Keon.
Dang.
They got to upgrade all that old plant. They can't afford to expand. They got to try to build where they already exist.
Yeah,
They
that's
ain't
true.
gonna try to they ain't, bro. And I know they got Verizon engineers, but they ain't got Verizon money.
Oh,
hate
man.
I think a lot of these private equity firms kind of overzealously bought into broadband. They're going to realize just how much money it's going to require.
Yep. I think it was, but Ian, that Brightspeed, I think their total investment for their fiber build is $3.2 billion.
Oh, so they're going to cover one major metro and that's it?
There you go. You see, he knows.
Ooh.
See the problem?
Yeah. Oh no, I see the problem. I see it.
It's gonna be booming service in that metro, but that's about it.
In that one metro.
Yeah. I
You
forgot the
blow
name of the
your
equity company. Ian, did you look into that? I forgot the name of the equity company. It's that did that whole Brightspeed situation. But I think I remember.
I haven't looked into it, but hey, anytime private equity gets involved in an industry where they have absolutely no expertise in, it never goes well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, look, that's why you let the engineers run it, man. They'll make
it's
that
not
thing
even
sing.
Keon, it's not even engineers. I mean, these are fucking Wall Street people. These are Wall Street people that have no idea how the telecom industry works.
Yeah, they took over 20 states of CenturyLink's plant. 20 states worth.
And you know what?
And,
They probably looked at the government funding that's going into broadband right now, and they said, "Ooh, free government money, and that was it.
It says we recently announced the close the sale of our ILEC in 20 states. Please call Brightspeed for further inquiry. And people are already pissed. It says that the total sale, here's what's hilarious too, right? It says the sale was $7.5 billion. That's pitiful.
Wait, it was how much?
7.5
billion.
Oh my god! So they got literally all copper plant.
Exactly.
Dang.
You gotta realize CenturyLink was ready to sell that because they got the same problem as AT&T. They didn't want to upgrade none of it.
Wow.
That's the problem with these companies, bro. It's the problem.
And all CenturyLink is remnants of the baby bells. It's just another chunk of it. Most of it is old. A lot of it is old Altel, and the other ones like U.S. Telephone or something what it used to be called. They're just remnants of that.
The old bell lives again.
Do y'all think some of that.
Windstream is just Alltel, by the way. Windstream, it's just Alltel. That's
Yes,
all
it
Windstream is.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even get me started on Windstream, bro.
Hey, Brandon, what you about to say?
No, I said, do y'all think Verizon might get some of that money
No,
and built out rule?
they don't care.
Eh,
I'll give.
I don't know about that.
I'll give Verizon one thing. This is what you got to give Verizon credit for. They are focused on whatever it is they're doing. Verizon is
focused,
really
man.
focused in wireless. They
Not in
really
North
are focused in
Carolina
wireless.
because you keep cutting out these meets on radio.
No, I'm just saying in general, like as a whole, they're actually focused on wireless. They're not shifting money back to doing gigantic fiber builds
Hey,
randomly.
the only time I saw Verizon lose their focus on wireless was when they went to Yahoo. They were determined to buy Yahoo. That was the only time I saw them lose focus.
That this is true. But
I
overall,
would not put it past Verizon to try and seek funding for areas within their ILEC footprint, like in the Northeast where they don't have BIOS yet. Would not put it past them.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but you got to realize too, Ian. Though the
But they haven't.
the Northeast has the most internet access available compared to the rest of the country. It's
Yeah,
not
but
a real underserved area.
they haven't really expanded their FiOS footprint.
If you're looking at footprint, like,
That's
if you're looking at customers, like how many customers in the Northeast, the majority of the customer base in the Northeast is all condensed. Whereas in the South, it's really spread out.
that's true. That's not quite true, Keon. They expanded into parts of Massachusetts like this year, or at least within the last 12 months.
Is Baltimore still a big Verizon area? I know Baltimore used to be.
It probably is, but like I said,
It
I haven't been able to roam around to see. But I presume that they probably got N77 a whole lot faster than what I did here in Washington.
No, what I'm saying, I'm talking about their landline services. They used to be the main money in like the Baltimore, Maryland area. That whole area was all Verizon twisted pair for the landline.
If it was, then it is. I think here in DC and the whole region, it was MCI.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
But you got to remember, MCI is pre. It would have been Pac Bell, or no, Bell Atlantic.
Yeah, it was Bell Atlantic. Yeah.
MCI was something separate.
Because Verizon used to be the main provider in that whole section right there, the whole DMV. They used to be big over there back in the day. They had the pay phones on the street everywhere. Verizon, all of
it. It was.
Because that's what a lot of people forget when they talk about the way Verizon was built, is that Bell Atlantic was its own thing that they acquired, that they became Verizon, and then MCI came way after that, like almost 20 years after that.
Well, there's actually a video online that shows it that AT&T and Verizon actually exchanged the markets. They literally exchanged way before the MCI thing for the landline stuff. They literally exchanged whole sections of the companies, which is why they talk about how like even some of their corporate buildings used to be AT&T, but they're Verizon buildings now. We're talking about something that happened in the 80s, like way back. So like most of modern Verizon is legacy AT&T, and most modern AT&T is actually legacy Verizon. It's hilarious.
Oh, wow.
They literally swap places.
Basically, yeah, that would have been back. That would have been back in like the 90s, though, right?
It's the mid 80s through the early 90s. They literally swapped like whole states with each other.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a video that shows the entire history from day one all the way to the end. It tells you every single merger and every single swap that happened to make all the modern phone companies. And the majority of them is how modern day Verizon is actually AT&T. Like the original Bell company is modern day Verizon.
I would have never.
Yeah, they were all Sprint. Sprint was Bell South. Or no. The existing AT&T was
U.S. Telephone fell out of the Bell system. It was a part of the Bell system. It fell out. That became modern day Sprint before they separated from landline from cellular
Yeah, and then
Huh.
AT&T is the OG Bell, or AT&T is the remnants of Bell South. Verizon is the remnants of Pac Bell and Bell Atlantic. And then the Midwest is just a hodgepodge. Because
Yeah.
the weird thing about that whole merger breakup was that the Midwest, instead of it being broken up into a region by itself, the Bell Company was split up by state. So it was like Wisconsin Bell,
Mhm.
Illinois Bell, Minnesota Bell,
Mhm.
and that's why stuff up here is so complicated. Is because
Yeah.
there's no, like, if you look at the local exchange carriers up in the Midwest, it is a freaking crapshoot compared to everywhere else in the country. It's actually pretty funny.
Mm.
And Altel, like I was talking about Altel earlier, if you go into like a lot of Windstream markets, a lot of the equipment still says Altel on it. I'm talking about the boxes on the side of the house, the damn splice boxes on the side of the street, all of it still says Altel.
They're not
People,
still putting up boxes with that already still on it,
no,
or they just
no,
keeping it as
hey,
is.
remember, it's been there already for 30, 40 years, Keon. They ain't changing that shit out. Every now and then they might put a new sticker over the old one so they can hide the Altel logo on the shit. But I used to go to houses all the time where I was setting up TV in a Windstream market, and you'd see Altel on the damn box on the side of the house.
Mm.
It's all legacy Altel. Altel used to have landline service. They were also a part of the Bell system getting broken up. They didn't just do cell phones before Verizon came into the picture.
Well, it's like when I was up in the boonies and I was passing fiber markers that had Verizon logos on them, but those fiber markers were originally GTE, which was bought out by Verizon and then sold off to Frontier. And Frontier is just not good. They're not going to go up in the middle of the boonies and replace these fiber markers. They don't care.
Nope.
But they still say Verizon on them.
Yo, I still got AT&T sites that say Cricket on the damn sign.
Oh my God, no way.
From Legacy Cricket. People forget
That
Cricket
is-
used to have their own network. Cricket had their own network before AT&T bought it.
See, that's
Oh,
crazy
wow.
though, because like we never had cricket back in the day.
They
Like,
were big in the South. In the South, they
Oh.
were big.
The Cricket was here in Houston. They had a PCS spectrum.
Exactly. Exactly right. You got to realize AT&T didn't get that band 2 until they bought Cricket. They only had band 17 and some band 5, and then they bought Cricket and got band 2.
We didn't even have Metro PCS here in Houston, and yet their headquarters was in Dallas.
Yeah, Metro was big in Georgia and South Carolina. Metro PCS
Right.
was.
Which is why, like, for what Speed Tech, it's small cells everywhere
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
T-Mobile. And
Yeah.
I have yet to come across I completely identify a T-Mobile small cell yet. I think I saw it, but I just couldn't believe what it looked like.
But that's why T-Mobile got band 5 in Myrtle Beach, is because of Metro.
That's like
true.
the only place that they have band 5, right?
It's because Metro had it only there.
Here, Keon, I'll show you some newer small cells from T-Mobile that I found around here.
Oh,
Okay.
man, hold up, man. Let me get my Vaseline first. Hold up.
Oh no! Oh God!
Shit.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Oh no! But you
Come
know
on,
what?
Ian.
I mean,
Don't tease me. Give me that small cell up.
hey, look. When I was talking to Greg was showing me what the Verizon small cells look like. Man, I would have never thought those were small cells. I just thought they were a bunch of. Oh, good God!
Oh wow, that is. It works though. I ain't hating on it. Little
Hey.
Cantana. Got N41 on it.
But that
Yeah,
can't-
it's got N41. It's passive.
I'm not hating on it.
Hey, you said it's passive. What does that mean?
It means it's not an air antenna.
Oh,
It also means it's not massive MIMO.
Yeah, that's why the big ass box is below it with the radio in it.
And then here I've got some other pictures of what's that? The older style like LAA ones that they have. from back in the day.
I hate LAA with a passion.
Back in the day.
But because of AT&T LAA is so bad here. Oh, Jesus Christ.
No radio. T-Mobile's is no better.
Man, but bro, they might as well unplug their LAA. Like literally, the macro up the street is doing better than the LAA is on sitting next to it. LAA ain't even helping.
Wait, did T-Mobile say last year that they were going to decommission them?
Don't know. But I would imagine they probably want to stick N41 in a whole bunch of them spots, them same places where there's LAA now.
Yeah. I think so.
Man. T-Mobile not handling this over 5G very well.
No, it's working fine for me.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Working beautifully on this end. 700, 800.
Hey, look, when I went to when I went to Philly, the only difference was Verizon was the one that's doing millimeter wave, so I don't think I really connected to their LTE network that often.
How often did you see UW?
Oh, pretty much the whole time.
Oh, wow.
I think that once I got into the city, it was nonstop. I don't think I did. I stopped seeing UW until after I left and go back to my hotel, because my hotel was outside the city. So I as soon as I got close, man, it was just small cells everywhere, man. Small cells plus millimeter wave. So don't get me wrong. I mean, if you blanket the city and put it on every street corner, I mean, you can make it work. But right now, it still anchors the LTE.
No.
Man, I like Cade's. I don't know if Cade's even watching anymore, but I liked his comment where he said AT&T fiber is amazing if you can find it. Like I've said before, and you guys have all heard me say this a million times, it is the best home internet product money can buy if you can find it.
If you can find it.
I have never experienced a better connection. Granted, I don't exactly have many fiber options to choose from.
Well,
but
I mean, the thing it's like they have this perfect use case, but they just don't build out enough for it to expand. Hey, look, ask Sneed. I mean, he has the AT&T home internet. I mean, yeah, the fiber. He got fiber to the prim.
And wasn't he already mad at it?
Oh, dog. I think he got angry because it ballooned. It did balloon on him, so he was like, "Fuck this."
But we already knew that was coming.
I don't think it ballooned on him though, like in the same sense that cable balloons on customers. I'm gonna be honest.
To me, it ain't a balloon if you know it's coming.
But no radio, people don't like it though. Come on, man. Show me somebody who likes the idea that every single time they get a deal that this deal is bound. Like, just give me the basic price. What is it without ballooning?
To me, if you didn't know it was going to balloon, it'd be ballooning. If you knew from day one that it was going to change, you don't get to complain about it.
Man,
it's a very fair assessment.
I feel you where you're coming from, sir. But I'm just saying that, there's something to, hey, guess what? The fixed wireless, it might be crappy, but guess what? It don't balloon.
Bro, but it's too early for it to balloon. Yeah.
I mean, but when is it going to ever actually balloon, though? I mean, Verizon's offering 10-year price locks.
If they ever get symmetrical speeds, you watch your ass.
The only way that's going to ever happen is millimeter wave.
We get network slicing.
Don't forget about KU band, sir. And as their modems will get better in these phones and these modems, you don't forget. Never say never.
Isn't KU band technically millimeter wave?
No, it is not. Millimeter wave starts at 28 gigahertz.
Or I was told millimeter wave starts at 12.
Wrong. That's the reason why millimeter wave is called Ka band and Ku is called Ku. It's called that for a reason. Ku band is
Can
larger
we
than
call it
Ku
PU
band is
band? Haha,
remember
skunky.
the thing. Ku is larger than a millimeter. That's why they don't call it millimeter because it's larger than a millimeter. Millimeter wave is literally called a millimeter because it's millimeters in size. Literally.
The wavelength is literally the cross section of a millimeter.
Literally in the millimeters.
I don't think
That's the
you. I don't
reason.
think you appreciated my joke on the radio.
Hey, I just saying that.
He made a funny. He made a
I made a
funny.
funny, and you didn't even hear my funny.
Hey, look, I'm just saying. There's a reason why. Look, there's a reason why on the satellite the HD channel go out, but the SD keep playing because the SD is on KU. It's not millimeter.
I mean, so here's why I'm gonna be a contrarian here to all of the people in this community. Where I'm not super enthusiastic about 12 gigahertz at all, and the only reason is that it took us how long to get C-band? It took us how long to get millimeter wave? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, 12 gigahertz.
Technically, we got millimeter wave before we got all the other bands. If you want to go there,
But what I'm saying is that being optimistic and having like a this is going to be tomorrow and not next week's type of view on 12 gigahertz like a lot of people have right now. Dude, we're talking at least 5 to 10 years before 12 gigahertz is even commercially available.
I want to say this, Ian. I'm 33 years old, bro. I was just 21. That's all I gotta say.
But here, hold on.
I'm telling you, 5 years ain't shit. I've been married 9 years, and that shit flew the fuck by. I blinked and I was married 9 years. I'm just telling you, 5 years is not a long time. Hell, I've been in this community 5 years.
That's a fair point. But we're talking in the same breath about how fast these rural telco ops are moving with fiber to the prem, how fast other big telcos are moving with fiber to the prem. Is it even going to matter?
It is. It is. Not to the extreme scale, but what I'm saying is this, right? If fixed wireless if fixed wireless is going to make it past 2028 at some point, they're going to have enough spectrum on air and evolve to a point where they can compete. Otherwise, fixed wireless is going to die.
Yeah, I agree.
They have to.
That's fair.
So now, their option is compete or die. There is no in between.
But at what point do we actually see them? Like, when do we see them with their feet to the fire? You know, when the compete or die mentality starts to, rear its head. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is I'm gonna say by 2028. By 2028, we're gonna be at a weird limbo nationwide. It's gonna be a very weird limbo going on. Because by that time, all the carriers are going to be building millimeter wave. By that time,
true,
it just has to happen. It just has to. T-Mobile can't say layer cake for fucking 20 years and get away with it without actually building all the cake pieces. They're gonna have to do it eventually. So
the year cake,
admin.
Oh Lord,
eventually. But I know am I saying it's gonna be just as good as fiber? No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I don't think they're going to put all this effort in just to drown the product in 2 years from now because fiber showed up.
I mean, look, they still haven't tapped directly into what 5G can do yet. I mean, look, they're still doing standalone, but we haven't seen what network slicing can do yet.
They already do network slicing.
They're doing a lot more. No, it hasn't showed up yet.
There is no network slicing active on any network right now.
And then you add this, so we haven't fully seen what you could do with cross carrier aggregation yet, quote unquote, dual band connectivity. So I mean, these different tricks of the trade can add more capacity to your network. So they haven't even started tapping it in yet.
So keep in mind too, I want y'all to all to realize you don't have to have gig symmetrical to compete in home internet.
No.
If you can,
I'm not saying that you do.
Yeah, what I'm saying is even the wireless companies can get at least 200 or 300 symmetrical. With the current technology, they just don't yet. They can already do that.
Right.
They don't have to compete with the highest home internet speed. They only got to compete with the bottom.
Yeah, that's it. The
That's it.
rural area is where they're going to benefit the most.
If I tell you,
what
hey,
you get in the
200
city is just
symmetrical,
extra capacity.
$25, and your local fiber company says 50, I can fight with them. In the city, yeah, that ain't gonna work out. But in the country, it's gonna be some interesting shit going on.
Well, look, you get that residual capacity in the city where people, let's say they can't get Comcast anymore because of whatever existential circumstance they're under. But guess what? They can get the home internet box.
And there's the one more scenario where they live somewhere where they have a monopoly, where the apartment complex there won't let them have outside.
Right, that's another one. That's another scenario.
AKA the guy who's got bad credit, AT&T won't let him get an account, but it's the only thing in his apartment complex. Well, he can get Verizon, maybe because he already got an account, or he can get T-Mobile. Just saying, there's always unique situations. All I'm saying is this, right? People said the same thing about fiber and cable. They said, "Oh, fiber shows up, cable's gone." Fiber showed up fucking 15 years ago.
And cable's still here.
Cable's still here, dog. Baby. And we still got more customers. We still got more customers with a lower speed. What's that tell you?
I mean, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, this is coming from the guy who is literally having the local cable company host a lunch to try and keep customers because so many of them are switching to fixed wireless.
Oh, see, even where you are, the fixed wireless is ruffling feathers.
Hey man,
yeah, it is.
Hey, sometimes you got to throw a grenade into the foxhole to finally get somebody to come out.
Hey, you know what? But that's the thing, though, is that they're a product of their own demise here. I mean, no radio knows. It's just bad. It's bad service.
Yep,
all around.
Oh yeah. So well, bro, I mean, say the same thing when I go through a neighborhood and I go, "Oh, there's AT&T fiber here." Well, let me take a look at the customers, and then I look and I say, "Okay, there's 392 accounts in this neighborhood." Now look at the houses. Oh, there is 401 houses, and 392 have fiber in front of them, and they still choose fucking cable. I see it every day.
Mm.
And most of us nerds would go, "Why would you ever choose coax over fiber?" I don't know, but people still do.
Reliability, sir. Hey, look, as a person who, no, it really is. Like, understand something. Look, let me ask you a question. If you went out and bought that Lamborghini that you also wanted so much, but every time you turned the engine over, something broke on it, you would throw that car away. They'd be like, "Well, why are you getting rid of your Lamborghini?" It doesn't work.
You could ask. I need to go to work. I showed him a map. And gave him all the addresses. We kept going to address. He was like, "Yep, 5 gig, AT&T 5 gig, AT&T 5 gig." I said, "Look at this map." Showed him the whole neighborhood. Like maybe 5 people had fiber that they actually signed up for. People still chose the cable.
I think that has a lot to do with like legacy. I don't even want to call it a legacy fiber plant, but like the fiber plant that's already existed. Because I can tell you right now, in new areas where they're pulling fiber, bro, they're taking people's lunch.
Well, the problem is the people go, but they don't stay. That's what's happening. People go and they're coming back.
But why do you think AT&T is sending door-to-door sales reps to sell them phones when the technician comes and installs their internet?
All I'm telling you is, I have told a customer, "You got fiber. Why are you down? Why are you going to cable?" They still switch back.
Because reliability.
Well, you got to realize, they're not looking at it from the nerd standpoint. They're looking at, "I don't like what AT&T is doing. Yeah, they got a better technology, but it ain't working for me." And they're still switching back. And that's the same thing happened to Comporium in South Carolina. Comporium, 100% fiber build. People switched and came back. Now their company's going bankrupt, especially about to buy it. There's something going on. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The average consumer is not looking at what we're looking at.
Well, you know what? I think maybe 20% of it might be the name. I think maybe 20. I think 20 or 30% of it might be the name. I bet if it was anybody else except AT&T, I bet that they might be able to get more customers.
But like I said, it's Comporium. Comporium ain't AT&T.
That's true.
They built in Rock Hill, South Carolina. They built fiber over top of our DOCSIS plant, and they took a bunch of customers, and they all came back. Something is in the water. Is all I'm trying to tell you. Like
Reliability.
the nerds are all jumping on that fiber, and everybody else is like, eh.
Well, look. Hey, look.
It's like 5G, just like the 5G thing. People saying, "Oh, LTE is good enough." Some people saying their damn cars was good enough. It was working fine, and when it broke, they showed up to fix it.
That's true.
It's like they hate the cable company, but then when they leave, they still end up coming back like a crackhead. Like it's funny. It's funny to me because if I live in the fiber neighborhood, I wouldn't fucking have cable, but people still fucking picking the cable.
But if your fibers are always not working, you're gonna go back.
That lady who had that fiber, the AT&T fiber to her house, that's what she told me. She said it kept going out all the time.
And that right there will automatically make you stay.
The whole moniker is fiber ain't supposed to do that, yet it was.
Well, that's AT&T fiber. AT&T fiber is very funny.
I know how great fiber is. I do. I would prefer it, right? But the general population is weird, bro. They're just like the AT&T customer. They ain't paying attention to that 5G advertising shit. The red customer, they hear fiber and they jump, and then 6 months later, I had a better bundle. I had a better bundle with the cable company. That's what they're telling people.
Edmund, the best example I could ever give you is the average person will not notice a difference between traditional cable watching ESPN and YouTube TV.
Because they're not doing anything that would actually make them see the difference. I mean, come on, dog. If you plug your if I set you down in front of your laptop and I could change the Ethernet connection and told you to, hey, blind taste test, whatever, tell me which one you're connected to, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. If your website loads the same exact way, if your Netflix loads the same exact way, you wouldn't know.
Edmund, I'm gonna give you a good example. Have you ever seen Jimmy Kimmel?
I've watched him from time to time. Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how some people are so dumb that they can't tell a difference between the iPhone and the previous generation iPhone?
You know that's
my point. People don't notice a difference.
Part of that's done purposely too. On Apple's end, they don't.
But
like
most
if you
people
look on your iPhone.
Difference.
Look, let me ask you a question. Look on your iPhone. I look at mine. There is nothing that says iPhone 14 on it. It doesn't even say 14 Pro Max. It'll say it inside the software, but there's nothing on the hardware.
But the old people in North Carolina still call Charter Time Warner Cable.
They sure do.
Hey, but the thing is, hey, if they work and people can rely on them, they're gonna stay with them.
Look at what happened to cloud gaming, Keon. You didn't have to go build a consumer computer, and you can still play all the games. And what people still did, they still rather build a damn computer.
Sir, did you have to go there? Did you?
It's the same, but it's the same thing. Look, the nerd community, you're not in tap with the average person. The average person don't give a damn if it's fiber or cable. They go, what's the price? And is the shit working? That's all they care about.
I feel that cloud gaming wasn't given a chance.
No,
and I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with that. That's my opinion.
The other part you're missing too is that most people have shitty internet, so cloud gaming don't work out.
That's true. That's too.
The other side of the coin too.
But hey, you know what? I was driving around testing it on mobile, and it was working great on mobile.
Yeah.
I mean,
S332. That's the neighborhood I'm talking about, by the way. S332. We got 300 plus subscribers, and every one of them had the option to get fiber, and they're still fucking old cable.
Shame.
And they talk about how much they hate the cable, but they still don't go get the fiber. It's hilarious.
I can't quit you.
I can't quit you. Yeah, I don't get it, bro. That's why I said if I had the option to have fiber, and say I didn't work for the company, right? And I just lived here, and I was a truck driver. I would pick the fiber because I'm a nerd. But my neighbor don't give a shit if her Netflix plays. She don't give a shit.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, man. People, if it comes down to the fact of it's on or it's off. If it stays on more than it's off, it's doing good. Yeah, that's pretty much the way you got to look at it. It's that we don't care about the speed. People don't even can't tell the difference in speed until you start trying a game on it, and then that's not speed. You don't care about the speed if it's 1 gig up, 1 gig down. You care about latency at that point.
Yeah.
So if you flick on your TV and it's always on the red talking about please check your internet connection,
Hey,
and
yo,
that's
I'm
all
gonna
you
go even
keep
farther.
seeing, you're gonna be like, screw that. Give me my cable
I'm gonna go
back.
even farther, Keon. People think that we're putting fiber in the house now.
Oh wow. I love your fiber.
Bro, customers,
That's my
bro, no
fiber.
bullshit. Customers see these customers have had service for 20 years. When their underground line goes bad and we lay that orange line out, oh, that's that new fiber stuff. They think it's fiber.
No, Brady, they think fixed wireless is fiber.
I'm just saying though, they really do. I had a customer
Hey,
swear to me he had fiber
be
from
nice.
us. I'm like, bro, that's
Look,
coax.
you gotta
He
be
said,
nice
"Coax
to the
ain't that
people who
good."
don't.
I'm like, apparently it is because you thought that shit was fiber.
You gotta be nice to the people who don't know better, man. Look. It's not that they don't know. They decided that hey, if it looks orange, it's fiber. That's it.
Plus, what percentage of customers got a Ubiquity Dream machine like EM?
No.
Hey
Zero
man,
zero
They
point
not
zero
that
zero
advanced,
one one
EM.
one 1%.
They not that advanced, bro. Look, if Ubiquity was like that heavily used, you'd be able to buy a Ubiquity Dream machine at Walmart, and you can't.
Oh Lord.
I'm not saying that everyone has to be like.
Yeah, but I'm saying the same person.
Guess what you can buy at Walmart? A Chromebook. Just remember that.
Oh, but my
Bam.
God, get off your Chromebook high horse, bro.
Hey, but
Remember that.
imagine this, right? Imagine AT&T. Say your neighborhood and AT&T, and they said, "All right," and then you hear it. It goes out.
Oh, you sound far away. Say it again.
You hear me now? Imagine you were getting a great fiber upgrade, and then you got it, and the shit keeps going out. What you gonna think about it?
This is hot garbage.
You're gonna say, "Shit, I thought the cable was bad." And that's literally what customers are telling me. I thought the cable was bad. But it's more to it. It ain't the technology. It's that AT&T doesn't take care of their shit.
Hey, look.
I think it depends. I think it depends a lot on the market that you're in.
Oh yeah,
I really do.
AM, I think Brendan was on with me earlier, and I was laughing because the police officer said, "Oh, that's AT&T." I said, "Yeah, good luck getting them to show up."
Oh Lord.
Am I lying, Brandon?
No, but you couldn't even get them to go out there even if you bought them food.
And then the power company shows up, and he talks to the power company guy, and he's like, "Yeah, so you guys, when you guys think AT&T gonna show up?" I said, "Good luck." The power company guy said, "Good luck."
Oh God.
He said the same thing to him. He was like, "Yeah, they don't show up." He said, "In fact, they're so bad at showing up that we started fixing their shit for them because they wouldn't show up, and then they sued us for fixing their shit."
Wow.
They have fiber laying in the street, EM, and they will not show up. They get called by 911 emergency services. "Hey, there's some fiber in the street. Everybody says it's yours." 2 days later, AT&T shows up.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think that those local municipalities are going to get to the place where they're just going to start fining them. Hey, look,
Bro,
if our local
ask RM
EMS,
Waves. It took 3 days for AT&T to fix some shit that they broke.
dang, they're going to start finding them. That's what's
not
going to
a
happen.
one-off. That's everywhere AT&T is. That is not a one-off. That's how they are.
Oh, that's pretty accurate.
He's in California and he sees the same shit I see.
But you know what? I think that the only way you're going to remedy that is you got to take penalties. The longer that cable stays in the road like that, you lose money.
Bro, the power company was talking about, because what it was, like the shit, like the power pole got hit by a drunk driver, right? We beat the power company out there, and they'll tell you that, like, yo, Spectrum shows up before we do, right?
Right.
And then 2 days later, we're getting calls because our lines are in the street, and when we show up, it's AT&T's lines. They won't show up to fix it. So imagine you're a customer in that neighborhood, and the shit's in the street done got ran over, it's all fucked up, and your service is out. Yeah, you got fiber, but when it goes down, it's down for 3 days.
4 days, 5
You're
days.
pissed.
People,
You're
people,
pissed.
people using their Nighthawks to connect to the internet.
The fire department hates AT&T. The police fucking hate AT&T. DOT hates AT&T. They all hate AT&T because they never show up to fix their shit.
Wow.
The power company started picking their shit up for them, attaching it to the poles, and they would send AT&T the bill
Jesus Christ.
because they were getting overloaded with calls about lines in the street. And since AT&T wouldn't respond, the power company, they have to respond. So they do, and they come back to the same intersection 5 times in 2 days, and it's never the power company's lines. It's always AT&T shit in the street.
Shame.
That's what we see.
That's a shame. Which is why you say, hey, what good is fiber if it's not working? Hey, look, I can have a light bulb, but if I ain't got no power, they're no good to me.
And I'll tell you the other reason the power company likes us. We bought all their fiber. We bought DukeNet out, right?
Yeah.
The DukeNet fiber is actually up on the pole next to the power. It ain't next to our shit. It's next to their shit. And whenever they call us, we show up within an hour and fix it. He was like, bro, I love whenever the fiber goes down on our shit. He said, I call y'all there within an hour and y'all fixing it.
That's good. That's good response.
All I gotta do is bring it down, let y'all splice it, and I put it back up on the pole.
But no radio. That's the difference between contracting work out to everybody and actually having the hands on deck.
But yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest difference. Like
that's the reason why they sold DukeNet.
If you want the biggest difference, if you need hands on all the time, I mean that's the price you pay.
That's why Duke sold it, because Duke got tired of having to fix it. They got tired of fixing that shit. And Time Warner was like,
somebody else do it.
Time Warner was like, we'll give you $940 million for it and we'll fix it. The power company said, take it. You can have it. Because they were having to hire people to go out there and fix that shit.
Right.
That's the other reason why they gave up on the whole DukeNet thing. They built DukeNet alongside the power grid in most of North Carolina. Almost all the power shit in North Carolina has fiber running with it. Almost all of it. That's why
not a bad idea if you're going to go ahead and be putting it up anyway.
Exactly.
If you're going to be putting cables up, you might as well throw some fiber up in the air too.
But yeah, that shit was hilarious. And made it so bad, that outage I had earlier, the pictures in the chat, the outage I had, guess who owns the pole that was broken?
Who owns
AT&T. AT&T owns the pole that got broke, not the power company.
Oh, Lord.
The power guy was laughing his ass off. He rolled up, and I could see the smirk on his face because I already knew that he was going to be like, ain't my problem. He was on call. He rolled up. I got out. I was smiling. He was smiling at me. And I said, you're happy, ain't you? He said, yep, that's AT&T's problem. Because like I said, we show up, AT&T nowhere to be found. And he was like, man, I'm going to put a new pole up.
I just looked at that picture before you said that, man. And it's sitting on top of the car.
It's on top of the car. There's a Duke Energy pole to the right and a Duke Energy pole to the left. The pole in the middle, the one that's on the car, AT&T owns that pole. How much you want to bet that pole is still on top of that car right now?
I bet that car will get towed before that pole gets
No, it won't. No, it won't. That's the thing. That's why the police are pissed. They won't get the car moved till AT&T comes put that pole back up.
Oh my God.
That's why the police officer was pissed.
Oh Lord. And I told that car gotta sit there. It is an eyesore. Oh Lord.
And I reminded him, I said, hey, did you have anything to do with the outage on Swing Road? He said, no, but one of my buddies out there. I said, what's his name? And he was like, Alex. I was like, yeah, Alex. Yeah, Alex was there at 5 a.m, and Alex came back at 5 p.m. He literally went home, clocked out, went home, and came back for his next shift, and AT&T was still on the ground.
Gosh. That's sad.
We done put up a whole new node, respliced like 122 count fiber, got a new power supply cabinet and everything set up. AT&T ain't even showed up. And they got 5 lanes shut down, waiting on AT&T.
Wow.
12 hours later.
Yo, I'm just saying something. The city, if anything, the city should just tell the power company to go ahead and do it. And then the city just go ahead and build AT&T.
Well, the problem is AT&T wasn't paying. AT&T wouldn't pay. That was the problem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Duke already started doing that shit. Duke went out of their way to freaking pay contractors to resplice AT&T shit for 'em and put it back on the pole and send AT&T the bill. And AT&T's response was to sue Duke Energy.
Damn.
So not only do I fix your shit for you, but then you sue me for fixing it? What the fuck is that?
Hey, it's called capitalism, man.
My
That's what that is.
God.
It's called capitalism. Hey, look. Hey, on that note, let's ride this into the sunset. Let's see. Everybody, thank y'all for sticking with us. Riding along in this AT&T hate train that we were rolling with.
Ain't a hate train. It's a disappointment train.
Uh,
Like that train
Y'all
in
really
Ohio
hating
that
on
derailed.
Dallas.
Like
I
that
think
train
it's
in Ohio that derailed.
the hard truths train, not the hate
the
train.
hard truth.
The
Hey, look,
Chernobyl train.
next week I need to do Verizon, so that way
Hey, yo,
I can be
if
fair to
any
all of them.
AT&T people out there in cyberspace want to respond to this, we would love to have you on. We'll keep your name discreet. We won't do none of that. We want to
Anonymous.
understand
Oh my God.
why y'all don't show up when 911 calls you and tells you your fiber's in the street. We just want to know.
Well,
That's all we
because your
want to know.
fiber, because right now your fiber is still in the street. It's still in the street, people.
We want to
Send it
know.
up, send it up, send it up to some higher ups. But yeah, hey, look, I thank y'all for showing up, man. Glad that you came in. Ian was in the comments, was like, wait a second, I have a voice. Hey, what's up, Red? What's that? AT&T's horrible.
See?
Hey, man, this get started. AT&T's horrible.
I haven't heard these reports from Verizon Fiber. I don't know, but if anybody lives or works in telecom where Verizon exists, does Verizon show up? Just want to know.
I would presume that the response time is way different.
I don't know.
I would presume that the response time is way different. I think that they eject those somebody out of the bed to go get it taken care of.
Ejectocito.
Eject those seat them out of the bed,
All right,
man.
Fast and the Furious.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. Somebody's going. Heads will roll. Heads will roll.
What's the name of the company, Ian, where you are? TD what? It's part of US Cellular, ain't it?
TDS.
Yeah, does TDS show up when their fiber's in the street? I wanna
Yes,
know.
they do.
Yes, they do. See?
Hey, that's what's up, man. Response time, man. It's all about the response time.
And I think y'all know about my response when fiber's in the street. So it's not a nationwide thing. Just leave it at that.
No, I understand. But hey, thank y'all for rolling with me this evening. Actually morning time now. So some of y'all got things to do. I thank y'all for rolling with me. Anything y'all want to leave, add, or staple on to the end of this? Ian?
Hashtag AT&T, use your Infinity songs, please.
Hashtag where's my 50 gig backhaul?
Oh God. Oh.
Shit.
Dang, Brandon.
More like 100.
Mm.
Oh,
He had to one up you by 50. Look at that.
Oh, there was even rumors about a terabit.
to the hub, maybe.
No, for real. I'm not playing. They literally
Hey.
said a terabit.
Hey, look, hashtag focus on wireless.
Yeah.
More like focus on telecom.
Yeah, I want to respond to some old boy from AT&T.
Oh, what's up?
Your boy from AT&T. Your best boy.
Okay. Don't call out no names. No names.
What? No names?
No names, man.
You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about.
I have an idea.
Mr. Techno.
We all know who you're talking about.
The clapper.
Oh gosh.
Hashtag
Ladies and
AT&T.
gentlemen,
The
ladies and
splice box
gentlemen.
is hanging in the middle of the road. The garbage truck is about to hit it. Where you
Oh
at?
Lord. Oh no.
Your
Man,
splice
hey,
can is hanging in the highway right now. Where you at?
please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Right.